With power and dignity, she boldly cried out so that all the cosmos would know of her suffering.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Trexploration.
Hello and welcome back to Trexploration. I'm Albie.
I'm Chris.
I'm John.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, joining us. Hey, Larry, how's it going, Dr. Trek?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm sorry. I was just trying to do my Brady Bunch thing there for a minute. Okay. And not very well.
Nailed it.
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot for having me on. This is fun, as always.
Yes, so glad to have you.
So it's been a long time. I think the last time we saw you, Larry, we were talking about probably Academy, right? I think we did an episode.
We were talking about
Academy.
DS9 on first run. No.
If only we had the technology back then, we would have tore it up, man. Come on. Yeah. It would have been a completely different fandom landscape if we had been able to talk about DS9 in real time.
Say fandom landscape 3 times fast. Okay.
No.
So we're very honored to have you back on,
guys.
and we appreciate you. It's great to have you, and we get to talk about a pretty good episode. I think. I don't know. I thought the last one was good, but everybody in the world disagreed with me. Maybe this time they might. I don't know. So we'll see. Today we're talking about Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 6, Off Hour.
Off hour.
The start date is 1213.72. Original air date August 27, 2026. Written by
today.
That's today. Written by I forgot my shtick. Written by Bill Walkoff and directed by Dan Liu. How would you pronounce that, Dr. Trek?
I would pronounce it Liu.
It's Dan Liu, yes.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so we got a good director here, I think.
Yes, he's had several episodes in with him.
What would you like to do, Chris? Episode recap or first impressions?
Well, I mean, usually we do the recap and then the first impressions. You really are off your shtick. You know how our show goes, right?
Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to ask Dr. Trek, how was Star Trek Vegas? We were trying to get out there last minute, but we couldn't.
Ask Larry.
No,
Yeah.
it was great. It was a blur. I was doing some new things. I was doing some reporting for Trek Culture, which still hasn't gotten out.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Well, I did some polling and did a thing where we had a lot of fans and some celebrities on camera for a mashup. Not quite as cute as Ellie's though, but still something like that. But no,
did you
I
get
feel
to hang out with Ellie?
I didn't. A little bit. We co-judged
Okay.
the prelims for the masquerade, which went. This is like typical. So there was supposed to be a half hour between this 90 minutes for judging prelim, and then I had a panel, which I think was the Timeline's book authors, all 4 of them on stage, because I had them on my live show on Tuesday a couple of months ago. And the judging went so far over, and then by the time they announced everybody and got them off, it was like time to start the next panel. So it's like, this is why I don't judge costuming. And then but that was kind of like, it was all good. It was like Blur, but a different kind of Blur this year. I don't know. I can't quite say it. A lot of people I didn't get to say hi to, a lot of new people I did. And then it's over after 5 days. And I took 14 people on a tour out to the Valley of Fire on my own without support for that one. So that was a step up a little bit, and everything went fine. Everything went great. Everybody had a great time. So yeah, it was a blur this year in the best way. And
Was there any difference being the 60th anniversary?
I see for a year ago, I remember people saying, I'm so excited for the 60th. And I was like, really? I mean, like, I'm not trying to, yak anybody's yum. I'm just saying it's not the 50th, like the 50th of anything. The 60th always sounds like you're scraping, trying to come up with a reason to party. And I figured over the year, people said, Larry, we may not have some of the original series people with us for another halfway, decent anniversary, like for the 70th. And I'm like, okay. And then the last year or so, it's been like the way the world is now. Don't stop people from finding an excuse to party. Don't stop people from going off and having a good time. And it was different than last year. I think people were like embarrassed. Like there was so much going on in the world that people were like a little reluctant to go indulge. And this year, I think everybody got it that when they come there, they see family, they see Trek spirit. They see all the ideals of Star Trek and they recharge, and then they can go back to their homes and families and the world at large. So it's like people felt better about being there and cutting loose and celebrating the 60th and celebrating the 25th of Enterprise and the 40th of Star Trek 4 and the 30th of I mean, it was a big anniversary year in a lot of ways. So
25 for Enterprise.
Yes, and they lost their 20th to the pandemic. So it was it was pent up. Yeah.
Did you get to attend the panel, Enterprise panel at all or anything?
I didn't, but I hosted a panel of some of the Enterprise guest stars, the Xindi guys guest stars, and had never got to meet Stephen Culp before, so he was
cool.
Major Hayes on Enterprise. At the same time, Major Hayes, the Speaker of the House on West Wing. So I kind of kidded about that, about how he was double dipping his pensions. But no, it was. I did like two. I either did like my own panel or hosted something else, or I was on a panel like twice a day, which was kind of like my max because I want to have table time and I want to see people and I want to, And doing the Trek culture thing where people were coming by the table and talking into a camera a little bit. It's like, that's where my time went. I mean, it was like, so no, I think everybody had a good time. The 60th though, you asked me, the 60th, I think it wasn't just me being busy. I think it was the same for everybody. It was, People would have like a 9:15 panel and go, oh, there'll be 12 people out there. No, there were more like not 1,200, but maybe there were tons of people in the seats for the big show, for the big room, for the lounge stage, for the secondary. All the stages had people butts in seats like at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 5-10 times more than normal. And people are like, whoa. And then the vendor, whether you were a little Etsy dealer or you were like one of the major licensee vendor corporate people, and a lot, like a lot of our friends, everybody was selling through the roof. People were buying stuff. People, fan sets had to send back home and get stuff. Martin at Cherry Tree sent his wife back home to get 2 suitcases of people were selling and buying and selling out. And guy next to me said who's been doing this 5 years, said he had his Saturday was his biggest day ever in 5 years of having a booth at Vegas.
That's awesome.
I mean, it was just, and it was all, so it was like everybody, it was like by Saturday, it was kind of like, I didn't see this. You said, oh, it's the 60th. I mean, yeah, but that's not and it was a sellout kind of, so it didn't feel as full as the 50th. The 50th felt like sardines. So I know it was supposed to be a big deal, and it was, but I don't know. It just felt like there was actually a lot of joy that came out of nowhere.
Oh, that's good.
If that makes any sense. And that sounds, not to sound like I'm cynical the rest of the time, but it was just like everybody was bubbly and happy and like nothing was going wrong anywhere. Like nobody, nobody's shinned their knee or bumped their toe or something. I mean, it's like everything. I mean, I'm sure there were wacky things in some corner, but like the vendors and from top to bottom and the guests and all the shows have died now. So all of their actors are free agents. They're not under, they're not that way at Trek, but everybody, like there were tons of people signing that had not really been free to be out and about. So here's like the entire cast of, name it, Strange New and all the Academy kids were there, just about all of them. And it was like tons and they were turning people like Brent and Johnny. Now we say Johnny because the podcast. Brent and Jonathan were only there 2 days and gone, and people were turning over.
Wow.
And some people were just there. Like, so if you missed somebody on a day. So anyway, so it was just like going all the time. And somewhere in all that, it feels like everybody had a pretty good time. I don't know of any disasters, but I know the vendors and dealers were going, what happened? And,
for me, when I went, it was just like a safe place. I knew everybody there was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And pretty accepting and loving and just chill. So that's what I loved about it. It was like being in my place, my environment.
If you guys do go, like the other thing that's happened is like 10, 12 years ago when I started Portal 47, one of the perks that I was trying to do was rather than have it be all remote on freeconferencecall.com was back in the day was I was trying to have a live component. And so I just said, if you're a member, if you're at a convention where I'm a guest there will be like it's a drink and a round of apps on the portal. Like we'll have a meetup, and if that's me and you, like if it's one person or if it's well, of course Vegas is always the biggest one. And in the original days, it was just like, here's my Portal 47 live dive as opposed to our deep dive online. And it was 6 or 8 people. And it just was like, oh, well, Vegas will always be the biggest one. People taking advantage because that's where the most people are in one time. And over the years, it turned into, our meetup. Well, now everybody, it didn't start off that way, but now everybody has a meetup for their Patreon or their donors. Or you're a documentary that had donors, or you're, you've got your own group and podcast and live show, and there's so many of them that are good out here. And now it's got to the point where and then they had the enterprise party was like at 5:30 on Friday, and it was or Saturday. And it's just, there was so much nighttime stuff and so many fans and fan groups and professionals or whatever. Squeezing time at night. That's the other thing that's changed the last couple of years. It's like there is so much going on at night, and people who are supporters of 2 or 3 or 4 things, they're going like, whose thing do I go to? Like I can't go to everybody's thing if they overlap. And that's become if you're a really active fan and you're supporting people, that's become a crazy thing. So anyway, it's just, for whatever the reasons, I still don't know if it was just because of the 60th, but, for whatever reason, it was just big and bubbly and joyous. And,
That's awesome.
People were like, I want to have a good time. It's Vegas. We always have a good time, but I didn't expect this. And it was kind of that feeling. By Saturday, you were going, where did this come from?
That's awesome. Albie, looks like we picked the wrong year to skip it, huh? So,
no,
we'll do better next time.
The experiment, this happened with the 50th. I kept saying, now I want to see what happens next. Like, the froth boiled over, and now I want to see where it lands the next year.
Yeah, I think 61 is the big one, Chris, right?
Okay, yeah, I think so. For me, yeah, it'll be huge. It'll be my first one. And
there you go.
Imagine how cool we're going to be, because we're going to be the only 2 people there with a Star Trek podcast.
Yep.
So we'll have that going for us.
Yeah.
100%, right?
All to yourself.
So,
all right, Chris, before we talk about this episode, which is
are we talking about an episode? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Off Hour. Star Trek Strange New World, Season 4, Episode 6. Off Hour, written by Bill Wolkoff and directed by Dan Liu. Can you give us your infamous episode recap, Chris?
yes, because we're off our rockers. See what I did
Yes,
there?
we
Ah.
We
I do see what you
open
did
with
there.
Nurse Chapel's. I'm sorry, John. What'd you say? I was speaking over your joke.
No. My joke was, you know what? Let's not even call it a joke. Let's just move on.
Okay.
You're rejoinder.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We open with Nurse Chapel's personal log, and for some reason, a lower third of the Enterprise's shipboard chronometer counting down from around 47 minutes 47, which maybe is meant to punctuate Christine's mood as she's in the final hour of her weekly shift and can't wait for the weekend to begin. Erica also has a case of the Fridays, her thoughts wandering as she plots a course for Starbase 7 for upgrades to the Enterprise's Buzzard collectors. Buzzards? Buzzard?
Buzzards, yeah.
Buzzards. Joseph is cleaning up sickbay to prep it for Dr. Boyce. You know, my favorite Star Trek doctor who carries an old-timey doctor bag full of martinis. Anyway, he's back aboard the Enterprise, taking over the beta shift. Christine wonders how he'll feel being second banana since he was once chief medical officer. Mbinga is like, I requested that he transfer back in case I ever leave. The ship would be in good hands then. Chapel has a sad and says, if Joseph leaves, she has to leave. She doesn't like Boyce. Joseph is like, why do you always have 1 foot out the door? Never your mind on what you're doing. Always to the future you're looking. Christine takes umbrage like, what's that supposed to mean? Joseph is like, okay, let's just forget it. Meanwhile, in engineering, Scotty is clocking out when he sees a glitch in the nav computer. The ship's warp trajectory has shifted a few degrees. Pike, Erica, and Uhura go to set things right, but too late. A wormhole filled with neutrinos slams into the Enterprise, throwing it into a slipstream. The ship is completely disabled. Pike gives Erica the con and slaps the electrified bridge panels to bring up shields, but comms are spotty all over the ship and everyone is in a bad way. Engineering is flooded with lethal radiation. Scotty is trapped in the lift and rescued by the snarky Vulcan cadet Asha. Inertial dampeners are offline, and in sickbay, Mbinga is pinned against the wall by a rogue lab table. Erica gets the dampeners back online, but the ship is out of power. Spock, Una, and La'an are trapped in the port galley lounge with Boyce, and the artificial gravity is getting crushingly heavy. And what's worse, the ship is going so fast that it will soon cross the warp threshold, turning them into lizards at best and particles of random space-time at worst. They have 24 minutes to slow down, and that's what that clock is for. Now I get it. All right, so let's take it one disaster at a time, because there's a lot going on here. Okay. The lab table has essentially cut Mbinga in half. He's all but dead. But Christine refuses to give up on him. She goes through his research, including some far-out medical theories he came up with to heal his sick daughter. You remember her, the one that he kept in the medical transporter's pattern buffer. One of his cures relied on finding theoretical strong force neutrinos that could be used to heal almost any wound like magic. And the slipstream they're in has the proper conditions to generate these neutrinos. Her plan is simple. Since life support is failing, she will turn him into a mabingsicle. I think mabingsicle should be the one, yeah. And heal his frozen, broken body with the magic neutrinos. Scotty is like, that's a great idea. That's my Scottish accent. That's a great idea because the neutrinos will also replenish our deuterium and will have enough power to break free of the slipstream. He's still overwhelmed, so he gets in touch with Pelia, and she horse whispers him through the repairs that will stabilize the ship enough for the new fuel delivery. Cadet Snarko beams him into a Jeffries tube, and isn't it a wonderful thing to see a Scotty in its natural habitat? Down in the port galley, Una manually overrides the dangerous gravity, but at the cost of a nasty compound fracture. Boyce fixes her up with an old-timey splint to go with his medicinal martini. Pike asks Spock to spacewalk to the ion pod on the secondary hull to recalibrate it to detect the neutrinos they need. Spock goes, but he is being bombarded with lethal radiation as he makes it to the pod. The ship loses contact with Spock, and Pike has no choice but to jettison the pod because it's about to blow up for some reason. I think the same thing happened in Court Martial. La'an goes out and rescues Spock, who made it out of the pod with the data they need. But Spock is too ravaged with radiation sickness to communicate. La'an melds with him, and they get the data. They use the strong force neutrinos to fix Joseph, refuel the ship, and break free of the slipstream just as they were about to cross the warp threshold. All's well that ends well, but what of Lazarus? And what of Spock? Seriously, they leave us hanging like he's sick, and they don't say anything about it this time, for the 6th time this season anyway, on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yay. Wow, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, usually because it's so much intercutting and stuff, like you just have to sort of take it a chunk at a time. Like if I tried to write it the way that they cut it together in the show, I'd still be reading. I'd still be on the first act. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
What movie was it this week?
Larry's been watching us. Larry's been watching.
I don't mean to bring you guys down, but it's kind of like the anvil hitting everybody in the head after 3 or 4 of these. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, to me, I think I said the towering
Inferno?
Poseidon earthquake.
No, okay, yeah. I saw that piano and I kept expecting that huge chandelier to crush about 40 people, but it never did. Good. The piano, though, I mean, nobody, they did the thing with the medical table in Mbinga, so they weren't going to do that anywhere else. But when that piano collapsed, I was like, okay, is the Christmas tree going to fall over now? And the chandelier collapse?
Yeah, and Shelley Winters was going to show up, maybe?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to hit a fruit cart during the chase scene.
Right. Somebody's going to run through a pane of glass.
I would have absolutely loved if they were all on the ceiling of the starship, which would make no sense because they're in space, but that's something they would do, but they didn't do it.
Well, they were playing with the gravity plating and all of that stuff, and
Did you think maybe they did it? They did it in Enterprise. They would have found the sweet spot. Travis would have known where to walk on the ceiling.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So to me, it felt a lot like the episode Disaster. Because it was all, I don't remember, because I really had the affinity of all the great Irwin Allen that you rattled off their disasters in one. It's Poseidon Adventure, even though they weren't upside down.
Right.
But with the tilt and all that stuff happening that way. But it was just like the port galley. I swear to God, I can't believe we're going to go through Star Trek history talking about a plate. 10 Forward was kind of a cool name, but port galley just sounds so blah. Anyway, now I want to see what the starboard galley looks like, or else why is it not just the galley?
They didn't show it because Gene Hackman was in it.
Oh, okay. And was already bloody and dead. No,
Right.
that scene, that scenario reminded me of that, but everything else, what this show really reminded me of was TNG's Disaster, because everybody was trapped in little pockets, and the 10 Forward gang, that's the one where Worf delivers Keiko's baby.
Keiko's baby.
Right. And they sing Prayer Jacques in the lift shaft.
Yeah,
right?
they're stuck in the lift.
Somebody's
They're
in charge
stuck
of radishes.
Geordi and I keep on saying Gates. Geordi and Crusher are in the cargo bay, and people are all stuck in different places. LaForge, Data, and Riker. He has Data's head. Anyway, it's all segmented off, and everybody and Ro is having a fight with Troy on the bridge with O'Brien or whatever. Everybody is stuck in different pockets, and they have to work together, and that's what this one was like. Everybody eventually, when they could talk, figured out. I just didn't know neutrinos were going to be this, the breakfast of champions for the future.
John, what are your initial impressions of this episode?
Well, I was gonna say, like, what was the movie this week? I think that they kind of expanded it, because it wasn't the movie, it was the gimmick. The gimmick was the real time clock. The gimmick was they did 24, where every minute is really a minute, and every commercial break really takes 3 minutes and 30 or whatever. But like, so to my initial impression is that is how you use a gimmick, where it's not the point, where it's not the focus, and you write an episode around it, where you write an episode and then you apply the gimmick like a nice sheen to make it look pretty, to make it pretty. I'm not gonna say this was like a real episode of Star Trek. I'll leave that to you guys, but it was. But it was, and I've got a pretty loose thing of what qualifies as Star Trek, but just what I said before. The gimmick was not the point. The fact that the clock thing counted down in real time was irrelevant to the story, but it was a cool little thing to do. I enjoyed this episode very much, even though I couldn't understand 70% of what Scotty was saying. I used my context clues, and I was good.
You have to,
especially when we don't have the captions yet. Well, that's what got me at the end. I was like, I can't wait to see this. When he started talking about the slut stream,
I texted that to the group. I was like, "What's a slut stream?
What is the slut stream, Scotty?"
I didn't notice it. I guess I was too busy typing. I don't know.
He kept talking about the slut stream, and I'm like, "What is?"
At least he called out his accent.
They hung that lantern on it because he couldn't. He's like, "Oh, I got to speak American to make the
engineering."
But it went way past that lantern.
Well, Albie, you intimated in the chat that before we get to my first impressions, you said that you had 2 episodes this season that you did not like, and we know it wasn't last week's, and we know that one of them already passed. So you intimated to me that number 6 was not high on your list.
At the time, I was just like, eh. There was nothing exciting and like.
There's nothing exciting.
No gimmicky. Nothing gimmicky. Well, no, because I was a little disappointed in how the Mbenga thing went, but I'll get to that later. But for me, it was just like a normal episode of Star Trek. And right away, I saw the 24 connection as well as the disaster movie because I was big into 24. I watched every single season. I loved every episode mostly. And I love the real time ticking clock thing. But I felt like it didn't really matter in this episode. Like if they took the clock away, you wouldn't have noticed anything different.
I'm glad that they did that they put it in and out was good for me.
Yeah, but it was enjoyable. I mean, it was a refreshing palate cleanser, but it wasn't the whatever episode. So in a way, that's good, I think. Chris, what do you think? First impressions.
Well, first thing I want to say is for everybody out there who knows this show because of our puppet episode, you heard me ranting and raving and cursing like a lunatic and insulting the writers and saying that everything sucked and this sucked. And I don't want to dial that back because I meant everything I said in the moment, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, who is that jerk? Oh, that's me. So I apologize if I came up
still
a
haven't
little
got our
strong.
screeners for the next episode.
Exactly.
Exactly. Maybe we need to redo that one. I don't know.
Yeah, but however, we got a lot of great feedback on the YouTube, and some people said that guy Chris makes me not want to watch Star Trek, and I'm like, if you want to watch Star Trek, I wouldn't watch last week's episode, but I would watch the hell out of this week's episode.
Okay.
They again, Strange New Worlds has been walking the edge with me. They brought it way back this week. Like, this to me was a fantastic episode, not just of Strange New Worlds, but I think a great episode of Star Trek. I really, really enjoyed all of it. I love the stylistic choices. I love sort of like the split screens that they were doing. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Ang Lee's Hulk. And I enjoyed the ticking clock. I'm going to date myself here. I didn't think of 24. I thought of that episode of MASH where Hawkeye had his hand in the patient's guts throughout, and they had to operate on him by a certain point, and they had the clock up in the corner. Yeah. And it was countdown. They kind of screwed it up in syndication. It didn't make much sense the way that they syndicate it, but I just remember that episode.
I do remember that one.
That's what I thought of this. So I think I watched 24 for about 4 episodes before I gave up on that. It just wasn't my bag.
You only made it to 20?
I didn't. Pretty much. When the agent of the United States government is just walking around waterboarding people because that was the zeitgeist at the time. Hey, that's pretty cool. Why don't we have Jack just torture people every week?
I think for me it was the format because I would binge it after the whole season came out. So I would watch 24 hours in 24 hours.
Gotcha.
It was rough, but that was my thing.
So this wasn't an homage to The Pit.
See, I heard that. Some people were saying The Pit. Yeah. I don't watch The Pit.
Well, except it's not a disaster. I mean, it's not, the ongoing. So
I can tell you this. It has the benefit of this is the first episode this entire season that didn't remind me of something else and them trying to make Star Trek out of it. It felt like an episode of Star Trek.
Like it was Star Trek.
If they were
upside
upside down,
to make Star Trek out of it.
Yeah.
If they were upside down, would you have changed your mind on it, Chris?
The thing is, I haven't seen a lot of those hokey 70s disaster movies.
Oh, really? Those are fun on a weekend afternoon.
They should have opened up. There's got to be a star date after.
Yeah. So maybe it's my ignorance. Maybe my ignorance of that genre. Yeah, I think that's most I've seen it was I saw Disco Inferno on Quantum Leap. Yeah. Was the disaster movie that I saw. When I love it when Sam is when he's wearing a brown wig over his brown hair because Sleepy had blonde hair. So I love that. Yeah. Anyway, it was Towering Inferno, exactly. So I think that's as close as I've gotten to any of those movies.
Okay, you guys are the first people I've been able to bounce this off of with other people yet so far. When the show opens and it's Chapel, by the way, Chapel got more than a 5-minute scene in this episode.
Right.
So it's like they've been saving up I was griping the whole year. The sickbay people were totally out of the show. They got like a token scene. And then Mbenga got to be, Casablanca-ized. But Chapel still was like a thing. And how long will her scene be? Oh, it's 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay. She got 17 lines. Okay, that's all. She starts off, it's a big part of the show. She's one of the segments with Mbenga. But at the beginning of the show, she's doing her personal log and she's talking about it's almost the weekend. She says, and off time, she says, oh my God, it's 1 hour to go until Alpha Shift is off. And they're making a big deal. A couple of weeks ago, Una had some line about getting to the weekend. And it hit me funny because I'm like, they have weekends, like they still have the concept of weekend and the thing. And this one starts off all about, we've got 1 hour to go till our weekend and Beta Shift can take it. And I was like, okay, I guess weekends are still a thing on the ship. Like that's a concept. So when the clock started ticking, I thought I swear to God, I thought she said it was 48 minutes until the end of her shift. It wasn't like, it's like the clock was this arbitrary thing that came up to time, that this entire crazed disaster epic is going to happen in 48 real minutes or 47.59. But it was like, so to me the whole time it was like, wow, how ironic that this crisis that almost kills them comes up in the last hour before they go off for their weekend. Like, woohoo, what a Friday, 4:00 Friday letdown this is. Because the other thing was like, there is, and I rail about this all the time. I know it's happened over the years, but they are the ones, not TOS, not TNG, not anybody else. They're the ones with that bus station sickbay set. So when they are the only two people in that set, it shows. It's like they're in the Grand Canyon of sickbays. It's worse than the bridge. And so that whole first part, it's just the two of them when they're arguing at first and getting petty. And then they're alone. And I go, okay. So my headcanon goes, well, everybody else that's getting ready has cleared out for the weekend. It's like everybody else is gone. No, there's no crisis. It's the two of them pushing props around, looking busy. And then so I'm like, okay, but it still bugs me when now at the end, when the two of them were in bed, oh yeah, they're bustling around. There's at least 4 or 5 people there. But, it got me that the clock was like just a fun thing to count down to the weekend. And then it became, oh, how ironic that the crisis is going to overlap, and then it solved within the last hour before they were going to, of course, they're all torn up now and they're all recovered. Yeah. Anyway, that was my takeaway. I was like, and then at the end, I'm like, so was that the point? They were trying to show that this whole disaster crisis happened, A, within an hour, and B, the hour before their weekend started because it's still a thing? Did that strike anybody else?
It was unclear. The first time I watched it, it was very unclear and I was confused and I just thought I was mistaken. The second time I watched it, I realized it was just unclear until the end, kind of. And then after the second time, I just kind of accepted because I knew what it was, so it didn't bother me. I even forgot about it.
When you say do you mean the
countdown clock?
The countdown clock being
and what it was associated
a show
with.
Device for weekend for getting off for Friday?
Yes.
Or the countdown clock?
I thought it was everything that was going to happen before they got off shift at first, but then all the stuff happened. It was very confusing.
It changed. The last time you came back to it, when it got down to the end, they had different ones. They had different headers, right? One of them said ship's chronology and one said something else because it threw me. I'm like, okay.
It was unclear, but a lot of stuff this season has been unclear, which is confusing.
Yeah.
So, John's been trying to get a word in.
I'm sorry, John. I feel like I'm stomping all over you.
No, it's fine. I was going to say, I like the weekend idea. It didn't occur to me. I didn't think about it. Maybe it did, like for a minute. But when they put the clock at the bottom of the screen, I didn't try to figure out what it was. I'm like, well, they'll like, okay, something. They're counting down to something, and I figured I just didn't, they hadn't explained it yet, so I didn't really try to think about it. As far as sick bay being empty, I had canon that everybody's at the performance because everybody on the ship is so excited that whatever his name is going to tickle the ivories, and he hasn't done it in 100 years, and that was the day, and can't wait to get off shift so I can go here and play. So the two of them being alone I noticed it, but I explained it away, so I was fine with that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I retconned it too, but it still was like, well, once again, you built this big set and there's nobody.
That is fair.
It feels like
they needed to have the aisle clear so that the table could slap.
Oh yeah.
On the innocent bystanders getting hurt.
They were just closing shop is the way I looked at it. The funny thing was, this reminded me when it started as like we're getting for the weekend. I really wanted. There was a show here on Long Island on a radio station WBAB. Exactly. Larry singing, "You're Ready."
The band.
And it would start out as the Friday afternoon happy hour, and it would start with that Lover Boy, Everybody's Work. So I just wanted them to cut to the open with the dun 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 ba-na-na, because everybody's working for the weekend now, baby. And it kind of shifted tones, and I was so glad when it did shift tone. Well, because I thought we were going to get like another sort of meandering character study of them on their off hours. That's what I thought it was going to be.
I thought that too.
It was going to be like Data's Day, but everybody's day. And I was so pleasantly surprised when this has stakes. This is tense. This is exciting. There's so much stuff going on all at once. Like, I really enjoyed the way it was put together, and the fact that they were still able to put in, I think, a lot of character stuff between Christine and Benga. I mean, we had some drama there. I mean, we know that they have a history, so it's nice for him to call her on, I guess, some of her insecurities or what he sees as insecurities, because I guess we did have to essentially get Christine. Did anyone even remember that she was just some kind of adjunct?
No.
Not really part of the crew?
Because
is that housekeeping?
They have screwed up the ranks. My friend James Kerwin talks about this all the time, and I've just blown. But like, the ranks have been wrong on their uniforms for what they say their ranks are.
Because it's corn.
Huh?
It's corn. Kernels of corn.
That's your lower decks retcon of everything.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, it's so, but then when he said you never did, I went, oh, okay. Well, that saved me looking that up. Yeah, okay. They're going to go back to it for what they say at the very beginning. She's on attachment. But then I go, so what is the difference between, is that what her white uniform is versus the regular blues? Because there is at least, or do the nurses wear those and the doctors wear the blue? Or what's the deal? Because then at that last scene, you saw some in white and some in blue again. Like, is everybody in white?
Well, if you remember when Disco came up, when Culber was in sick bay, and the chief, the CMO in Disco, they all wore that white, and I just thought that was a Disco thing. But they carried it over with Chapel in this, and I've always hated that outfit. I don't think it flatters the actress particularly well.
Yeah, we disagree. I really like it on her.
Yeah, I think it just looks awkward, and I'm hoping you're right, Larry. I never even thought of that. Maybe she's just, it's like Charlie X walking around wearing Gary Mitchell's old shirt. She's not really part of the crew, so it doesn't have a Delta on it. But we need her to wear something. So yeah, maybe now that she's a full-fledged crew member, she graduates to the blue tunic.
I bet not. I bet that's her look. So they're going to keep
or the blue scant. Blue scant. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That would give me, anyway, an in-universe reason to explain away what I consider probably the most annoying costume on the show.
Wow.
So, see, and I was going to start out positive. What happened?
The most annoying. No, I mean, it's distinctive. It looks to me, it looks fine. It looks nice. It looks good. I just wish somebody would say what it is. It's like, just
I think that's your job, Dr. Trek.
What?
You have to tell us. You have to make it up and tell us and tell them.
Yeah, sure.
I'll have my head canon until I'm told
They'll listen to you. I think your head canon is better than a lot of real canon.
Well, or what the best thing is knock down. What's her name? The designer that did the deal with. I can remember Flughord Boots or whatever, that she sold the real boots to their company to the world. Not she, but let them sell them. But I can't think of her name. Anyway. I want to corral her and say, what is the meaning? What's the meaning of this?
It just pops on screen is the meaning, I think. But, what was the name of the kid last season? He was everybody's favorite ensign. He was wearing the white suit before he turned into the monster that killed Patel.
Gandhi? Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Something. Grandy.
So he was in the Medbay whites as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's obvious a thing somewhere. There's going to be, because I sometimes go down uniform rabbit holes and rank insignia rabbit holes especially, and trying to figure out the rank insignia and the division patches on the motion picture. You need an encyclopedia. I mean, you wrote the encyclopedia, Larry, and you don't even know what the hell you're looking at.
No, we have. I might even have it right here. No, but Robert Fletcher wrote all that out. The colors.
He did, I know, but there are like 9,000 color combinations on there. And of course, Kirk's is like white on white on white. He's like
Plus, they were different going into, they were different for Wrath of Khan onward than they were.
Oh yeah, no, they went to the Maroons, and that was fine. And so I was like looking up what the actual pips were on there. So I get to know what's a lieutenant, what's a captain, because it always looked like a Tootsie Roll. I guess that made you a captain, right? So
yeah. Well, anyway, like I said, the ranks are so all over the place.
But it'll be a fun rabbit hole to go down. I also want to get a comparison as to, because you're talking about the rank on the sleeve here, and they don't have any of the broken lines. They only have thick lines and thin lines. I guess the thin lines is supposed to represent what were the broken lines on the original series. So
which is what they had on the case. See, they went that way. they're so proud sometimes when they go down a detail rabbit hole and they're like, look, we did this. And then you want to go, cool. Now, what about this, and this? You're like, oh. I think because the cage had very simple rank, and that was Gene not wanting it to be gaggingly military. You're like, he didn't want it to be the way that, I'm sorry, the first time I saw Wrath of Khan sitting in the theater, I went, oh my God, it's the Reagan 80s. Because look at how blingy all the uniforms are now. They all look like little Napoleonic things. And they don't have like dictator medals hanging off, but they had all the crap on their sleeves. And
well,
all
the thing is, Larry, they had to make ends meet in the 23rd century, work at TGI Fridays on the weekends, so they needed flair.
They needed their flair.
Yeah, they needed flair. I mean, Jennifer Aniston told them they had to have the flair. So
exactly. I found it.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't think we'd go down a uniform rabbit hole on this one because there was so much else going on. Yeah, I guess so.
Chapel will do it to you. Yeah.
I think she'll get you anywhere, Albie.
I enjoyed Chapel and Mbenga together in this episode. I like that they showed like the previously on a little bit to remind you of, their eye thing and we got this, and they're kind of a team. So I think that helped with the unmotivated-ish fight at the beginning discussion that they were going through.
Yeah. But again, it was a nice way to highlight Christine's character in a way that we haven't, and also to maybe recenter you on where the hell she is at this point.
Well, because it's been a while.
Because the only thing we've seen her do angry bingo and bad drunk puppet
bingo.
Work.
High bingo.
Yeah, angry drunk. Yeah, psychedelic bingo, right? And I think that's about it. I don't recall any other scenes that poor Jess has been in.
There was a scene where she was mildly jealous at her and Spock. I think
that's right.
The first episode, I think, when she was
she put Spock's ears back on.
She had to ask about what's going on.
Yeah.
Good.
But she had to see if it was her turn again yet.
That is actually something that I really liked. As much as I love Ethan Peck as Spock, I don't think he was even mentioned for like the first 10 minutes of the show, which was great.
We've been getting a lot of Spock though.
Too much Spock. That's what I'm saying.
He had the whole damn thing to himself last episode.
Right. And I think they were filming both around the same time, from what I understand.
Oh, so maybe he had to do first unit stuff while they were doing their first unit stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good way for them to save money
He's
too.
Standing in the bar scene, but he hardly says anything for everyone. By the time he finally says his first line of the whole episode, I was like, oh, and then I went, oh wait, he's been in the bar, and then the second time I watched it, I was like, he's standing over there forever, and they don't even feel obligated to throw him a line or throw him a close up. He's just back.
But I mean, that's great because when you think of an ensemble show like this, he could just be part of the woodwork, and it's not unusual to see Spock because he's Spock. He's on the ship, so I think that's you don't have to put a spotlight on everybody all the time. Like you said, hang a lantern on it.
And then
he would be Green Lantern when he throws up the blood.
That was good.
I'm reaching. Blue Lantern.
I'm reaching.
What do you think?
He did have his hero scene. We had to climb on the outside of the ship, but like.
Yeah.
So and that's another thing I like. Yeah, this is a good episode, like all around, because everybody got their hero scene. Poor Una, man. Because I was like, dude. Well, I figured like Spock is the strongest. It makes sense. No, they had to save him to go on the outside of the ship. He got screwed worse later.
Well, the question that I had about that, like, didn't we find out last season or the second season that Una's Illyrian blood heals her somehow magically?
Yeah, why didn't her leg
to do with
glow?
the heat?
Well, I think that was like disease
on the ship.
That wasn't
or
like
is that only for infections? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just for like blood infections.
Yeah.
Maybe she had
like
Brigelian bloodworms.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Is this heat super blood or infection super blood? As long as it's not triple super blood from the alternate universe.
I know that is copyright J.J. Abrams.
Yep.
Yeah. So I liked that they gave Una that thing to do because it was like a little moment, but then I felt the second time I watched it, I said, oh, that's all she does. Like then she's sidelined and she's got the splint on and that's that. And then Boyce just turns into like the world's biggest jerk.
Let's talk about Boyce.
I was going to say.
We got Boyce now.
I was waiting.
Did he come? Was he on like in the first season at some point?
No.
This is our first Boyce.
Is this
Okay.
a legacy character? Is he from the old
Yes.
show?
So, Boyce,
In the
if you saw
cage.
the cage, John, when Pike is having his crisis,
Oh.
and the doctor literally walks into his quarters with a doctor bag, like from 1936, and he opens it up, and there's a martini in there. He pours a martini. It's the greatest scene ever.
But not to his Pike is surprised too. And Pike says, "Is that a martini?"
What
And
is
then,
there ice in
and then
there?
Boyce says, "There are some things a man will tell his bartender that he'll never tell his doctor."
I remember.
And
I remember
that's the opening of the show, and that's the first scene they shot for the cage.
Yeah.
Really?
And he walks in the room, and there's Pike's TV and little
Yeah,
captain,
Pike's got a big tube TV.
and his little
He's got-
captain hat over
his
there.
hat.
Yeah,
Yep.
Do you know where that TV is now, Larry? Do you know where that TV is?
it's not in my house, so I don't.
Isn't it on one of your? Isn't it on one of your set tours? On one of your walkabouts?
I don't know. I would love to know where that. It's probably still down at
I would
Culver
love to have
City
that
or
TV.
something.
That's a bucket list thing.
But,
I think we all
I
had that
think-
TV at some point in the 70s.
It's
didn't we?
so it's just wacky how, like I said, it's like they pick on one thing and they go, look, we're gonna do this exactly right, and this is awesome, and you're gonna be so impressed that we thought of this, whether it's a person or a thing or whatever. And the whole time I'm going, I don't mind these legacy characters. And Mbinga's gonna be an interesting choice because he's got to go away and come back,
Mhm.
later.
I thought they might kill him.
No,
I thought they might kill him in this one.
Well, yeah. Except then he would have to come back later. But anyway, Una, we don't know nothing about Una after the cage, so you wouldn't even call her number one anymore. But then then Chapel's going to go away and come back. Like all these, and Lon, who knows what's going to happen to her. But my thing with Mbinga being there, it's like, okay, no, until this time, no one ever said anything about Boyce, because that was supposed to be 2254, and the Klingon War early stuff on Discovery was like 57, 58. And then this started in 59. So we're in 2262. So the Boyce you saw, the Boyce you heard, no, the Boyce you saw in the cage is 8 years ago. So this guy is, by the way, the actor that played him, I was like driving me crazy trying to remember where he was. And he was Geiger on DS9 when Sirach, when they're doing the MASH Adam Ribs episode, when they're trying to wheel and deal to get the baseball card.
Oh, I love that's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah,
of all
the
time.
Lions and Tigers and Bears or whatever it is, Geiger and whatever line. He plays Geiger, but he has a role in a Voyager, and he has a role in an Enterprise, I think.
Yeah, I
believe that
recognize
his
him
name
from
is-
Star Trek, but I couldn't place him.
It's 20. Anyway,
Brian
I'm sitting here
Markinson,
going,
I believe.
okay, Boyce was 8 years ago. He's obviously long gone. He looked kind of long in the tooth then. I want to know how we wind up with Piper at the beginning of Kirk's time, and then it's McCoy. And
Yeah,
then
I
they
would
throw
love-
this in, and it's like, boy, I'm like, no, I don't want to go backwards. I want to go that's old. I want to go on.
Well, I'd love Mbinga to leave, and then Boyce brings Piper on somehow, or whatever. Or are they just going to go right to Bones?
If they do, they're stupid.
There's an argument to be made, Dr. Trek. You heard it from Dr. Trek.
If the last episode is the first day of Kirk,
right,
and then Bones is there, and then maybe you see a Mark Piper old guy, and then they just say, well, during Where No Man, McCoy was on a leave and Piper was filling in for him, and that's why he looked like he's half dead. I mean, in Where No Man, it's easy to see why they didn't keep him. He was the sheriff on The Rifleman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, that's
gotcha.
old. That's the first thing that pops in my head.
But the thing is, what I liked about Mark and Jim in that episode, they're very familiar with each other, just like Jim and Bones are. So Kirk has a thing for his ship's doctors. He really likes to cozy up to them. So I hope that they can somehow bring that in before we get to, I guess they're going to call it year one.
Well,
didn't
there's
they
a
release?
There's a whole list of things that I hope they, like Chapel going away. They got Corby in, but now are they on the outs? Like she's not. I mean, I'm waiting patiently to see all this, but the longer it goes on, my initial, this is exciting. I'm just like, this is your choices. You're going to play with these people this way. Okay, just get there in the end. Just get there in the end.
Didn't they release the casting information for Sulu and Bones for the last episode of Strange New Worlds?
Yeah.
So we know we're going to
Was
see
it
him,
Bones?
right?
I know it was Sulu. Oh, yeah,
No,
Bones was
Thomas Jane playing McCoy.
Yeah, it was Hunky Bones. Yeah,
it is
Hunky
supposed to
Bones.
be
Oh,
Kirk.
wow.
They say what? They say the last scene of the show is Kirk taking command. So
Yeah.
I'd always thought you'd think, and maybe this isn't the creative way to think. It's like, well, it would be Piper then, unless
That's what I would think.
Mbenga
too, yeah.
is there and Piper comes, and Mbenga carries over and Piper, it doesn't have to be.
And is Sulu, is he going to be in his Sciences Blue? Because he's in the hydroponics with Beauregard.
Yeah, he's in the
Beauregard, he
hydroponics,
decided
but he says he's an astrobiologist.
But then he meets Erica, and he's like, wait, I want to fly the ship.
I want to fly the ship. Probably the good scene is something happens to Erica, obviously, because she's not in the original series. Something happens to her, and then somebody says, Sulu, fly the ship, and that's where he stays. That would be great.
I guess, yeah. Kirk's reading the paper
all
in
that
his command chair saying, Sulu, slow down.
It's interesting to see did they kill them off, or did they just transfer them out into a
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
The only speculation, since we're going down that rabbit hole, the only speculation that I've seen in Albie, I think you pointed it out, that everybody on that wall of heroes in Academy, it's Lieutenant Erica Ortega. It's not like Admiral or whatever. So the implication there is that she somehow died in the line of duty in service to Starfleet.
Well, that's what that whole wall is, right? I believe.
Yeah, that's from what I understand. Anyway, I didn't think it was. I thought it was just Starfleet's greatest hits, but I guess it's like an honor wall as opposed to just they served meritoriously. No, they died for their
right at the
their
end.
Paramilitary, kind of not military. Is it military organization?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a whole other rabbit hole.
I know, it's fine. Steve Shives does a great video on that. Yeah, friend of the show, Steve Shives did a really great breakdown on. Is it? It says there's arguments to be made both ways.
Well, come on, that was meta argument fanboy argument number 7 on Lower Decks, when Mariner and Boimler are at the career fair and they're arguing over whether Starfleet is. I swear to God, that was the best thing about Lower Decks, was they would take any fan debate and make it part of real life. And and Mariner and Boimler are arguing over whether it's science or whether it's military. Yeah. And also why they have so many damn uniforms now. I was like, what else are they going to come up with to argue about?
I like Ortegas, and I'm expecting her to die. I want them to break my heart over it, and I'm expecting them to. And that was part of a little bit of my problem with this episode. If something bumped me, it was like I was preparing for Mbenga to die the whole episode, and then he didn't. Like I knew,
but he's alive in TOS, so
right. So I thought this was going to be the moment where they say, "Hey, guess what? Different timelines."
But I can tell you, well,
they're not going
to do that.
They're not going to do that. No,
but we know everybody except for maybe 3 people will survive this.
Right.
Yet I still felt tension for Spock. I still felt like he was in some kind of danger, and that to me is just a testament, I guess, not just to the acting, but the pacing and the way they edited it. It just you get swept up in it, and it's just like these are all legacy characters that are going to live for the next 150 years. But I'm still feeling anxious about
what Una or Ortegas and.
Yeah, no, that's it. The only ones that can La'an, Una, and Ortegas are the only ones they can really kill off.
But that's also like, just because a character survives a thing and shows up later doesn't mean that they're okay. Spock could have been in a coma for a year, or maybe not a year, but some long amount of time. He could have gotten vaporized, and then they figure out how to bring him back later. Like because it's sci-fi, they can still do a whole lot of damage. They can still do a whole lot of damage to a person and then make them okay. In the next episode.
I've heard in sci-fi they can even kill people off and bring them back.
A few times.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes pods soft land on the surface of a planet, Larry. It just happens.
Well, Spock's been
perfectly reasonable. Yeah,
there's a thing that the longer this has gone on, and they keep insisting on it was one thing to hear Akiva say, "I would love for this to just roll right into Kirk's first day," and we keep going, and people go, do we really need to do that? But okay. And then it's like, but I can't wait until then to bring in those characters. So here's a Scotty, and here's the this, and here's the that. And I'm like, yeah, really? Are we really going to? And I got to meet Martin Quinn at Vegas this year backstage, and he's a lovely guy, and he's funny, and you could but they needed to cast somebody else. I've said this all this season, especially. He is so much younger than our Scotty. Like, it's only 3 years till Where No Man is the other thing. We're talking about all these legacy characters and not legacy. And you put a picture of Jimmy Doohan playing Scotty young in Where No Man, young for him. It's like that they have cast Martin, so they've cast it so young. He's 15 or 20 years younger than he needs to be. Scotty, it's in Relic. Scotty says, I served on 12 ships before Enterprise, like freighters and starships and all this stuff. And you feel like Martin Quinn Scotty just rolled out of the academy. Now, he was on that other ship. Okay, so that was like his first ship. So he's not just out of the academy. He's out of the academy 3 years or something. And then I keep calling it the juvenilization of Scotty. They keep having him do these check-off things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Being the stupid move. He's going to jump and do this or touch something or do that and be impetuous. And Scotty can be heroically impetuous when it's going to save the day, but Martin Quinn Scotty, and I'm not blaming Martin Quinn, it's the way they write him. He's there. That's like they're playing to him being so young. He's 15 years too young for this. And then Kirk is 15 years too old. But he's so young that when he goofs off, it feels right until you remember and you go, oh, well, this feels right the way it felt right for Chekhov to be popping off and doing stupid things. You know what I mean? But it's we're supposed to have been on a whole bunch. He is supposed to be a well-seasoned engineer by now. And it feels like it's the second ship he's ever been on. So when that stuff happens, it feels right in the moment. When he has the puppet, the worst thing to me about the puppet show was him talking, oh, I've got my rival on the other ship. It's like, that's so 3 years out of the academy, goofball, frat boy, engineering, tech bro, whatever. And I don't think about Scotty being that way. If he was ever that way, it's when he was 7 years old or something. Not now. Anyway, I will give the episode props for making Pelia a real person again. Yes, and not a cartoon, not a puppet, not a caricature, not just someone that's dropping cringy jokes inappropriately. I mean, grounded. She and Scotty in this episode were a fantastic duo. Agreed. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's just like, again, if they wanted to, they can write this every week. Can you find a wall to go around and they wound up touching so many walls? I mean, I got it. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. That rant that I went on about Martin Quinn Scotty, what I was going to say was all of those characters that are so off from and Spock was jumping beds. Now it looks like this is the pivot where he kind of pulls back to start being the Spock that we know, the stoic Spock. Yeah, we've been discussing his arc. And I've been talking about how a lot of these people, it's like, how do we get from here to original series? And I kept saying, well, they're going to have a trauma. There'll be a huge trauma. And with Scotty, I keep going, it's going to be this huge trauma where he grows 6 inches and ages 15 years. But I almost started to see that in this episode for all the griping I've done. And again, this is not about Martin. It's about what they are having him do. And this acts like he turns a corner. And Pelia gives him that lesson about trust the ship, don't fight it, trust it. Right. And I was like, oh my God, are we actually going to see the trauma moment that starts him on the path? No, what you saw was the rebirth. Actually, he was in the chrysalis and he bloomed because he finally got into the Jeffries tube. Okay. And that was it. That's all he needed. He just had, like I said, he had to be in his natural habitat and it all clicked. Yeah. I loved that they were in I love that the Jeffries tube looked like TOS Jeffries tubes with all the clunky and colorful grips or whatever the hell they are. I think they were just styrofoam that they spray painted from packing crates, according to what Rick says. To-go containers or something. Yeah. They would dumpster dive around the lot and grab stuff. So, but I mean, so again, in service of these characters, be it what it may, that they're not exactly where they are in TOS and they might not get there because this is its own thing. I think we just have to accept that there are just going to be seams where they're just not going to mesh because it's a different time. And, people back then looked a lot older when they were a lot younger. I think I'm older. I always like to make this example. I'm older now than Lemon and Matha were in The Odd Couple by about 10 years. And I still look 10 years younger than both of them in that
that movie. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, it was just the time. I don't know what was the smoking or the
Smoking
drinking or
and
the
drinking.
fashions
I
or
mean,
the hair.
And
or
a lot of the men had been World War II vets, and
That's true.
that put at least 5. If they survived, that
Right.
ages you, and it
And
may not.
especially
And
Doohan.
it may
Doohan was a
accelerate the
vet.
longer, the older you get, the more it may pile up faster than it would have.
Could be, yeah. Like you
Yeah.
got, so it's not going to be the deadly years that turn Scotty. It's going to be the dangerous years, the slightly uncomfortable years.
Well,
It just ages him a little
like
bit.
I said, I had given up, but this episode gave me hope, and we talk about Spock turning the corner back toward being stoic Spock. I just don't know if Scotty's going to get 6-inch lifts in his boots. But other than that, if he starts settling down and becomes, just more settled and not so frat boy than goofball Scotty, then I'll be happy. And if that was the moment, then, and it makes sense. If that's the moment, it emotionally, realistically would make sense for that to be a traumatic moment.
Could we stay on Scotty for a second, if you guys don't mind?
No,
As much as I loved the whole interaction with Pelia thing, is as much as I hated his interaction with Snarky Snarkerson. What's her name? Ashan or Asha? Well, the thing is, it made Scotty the dummy. He's like, what do we do? What do we do? And she's like, well, you could do this. And her most obnoxious, oh, I hadn't thought of that. It's like, you're Scotty. Of course you would have thought of that. You need this cadet to give you all the inspiration to like come up with these ideas. I thought that was BS. I don't know why they're plugging this kid. Is she going to turn into an energy monster too? And like her eyes are going to burn out?
I think the karma is much more on her to become than poor Nurse Gandhi or whatever his name was last year.
She's the big bad of season.
He was a sweet guy, and she. Did you notice they never gave you his name? Like episode after episode, you could see it in the credits, but episode after episode went by, and they never said his name on screen. I was like, okay, it's like a game here, and then they don't. I think it also until he's dead.
The way they write her also just points out to the fact that they still just don't know how to write Vulcans, and this has been a long time. Really, they're writing Spock well, but Spock is a much more fleshed out character. Vulcans just seem to, be there to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, to be obnoxious, and to be arbitrary, because that's logic.
Like, I think they wrote her better this episode than they've written her the whole season. So, like, she was less obnoxious and more just kind of.
It's only her third time.
Like,
yeah.
On the spectrum. Like,
No, because Scotty says, Hail, oh, that is Lieutenant Uhura's duty. It's like, are you effing kidding me?
No,
in the middle of a crisis, you're going to...
Agree.
I'm like, what is this, the set? And she's worried about like the grip says, hey, Gaffer, you can't do that. That's our deal. I was like, what does that mean? It's a freaking disaster. Jump in and do what the hell you can do.
I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. But
I didn't mind her in this episode.
I do feel like she is better this episode than she is.
I kind of liked her in this episode.
I like I feel like she's softening, I guess, if you want to try to put it in the continuity. But no, you're completely right. She's still... I felt like she was like just a jerk. Up until now. I didn't feel like she was a jerk this time. I felt like she was...
I feel like in this one, you see her, and like, I think you see her impulsively say something, and then on her own, she'll spit out something and then take a breath and go, but I could do, or but on the other hand. It's like before she would not come back at all. Yes. And this one, it feels like she'll still go there. Maybe it's just that
she was helpful. Maybe that was... she was actually helpful this episode.
Yeah, it could be.
So I didn't finish my training. Just push the levers up. That was funny. I like that one.
That was a great moment. It was. I wanted her to say it's just like a toaster, and she'd be like, "What's a toaster?" All right, we got a lot to talk about, including more of this cadet Asha is her name, right?
Asha.
We're gonna have to do that after this break. We'll be right back. Hello, Trek Explorers! Welcome back! We are here with Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, and we are talking Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 6, Off Hours, right? Is it
I'm
off
so
hours?
excited!
Off hour.
Off hour.
Not
surprisingly, this
not
episode...
buffer time, off hour.
No. Similar. But this episode isn't that off, from what I'm hearing from you guys, right?
It's a
If
little
I-
Star
if
Trek
I-
in my Star Trek.
If
There
they
you go.
didn't title the episode Off Hour, I wouldn't have thought about the gimmick. I mean, like they did the gimmick, but like just in the spate of this season's episodes, what's the gimmick this week? Oh, it's the ticking clock, which is, like I said, it was kind of underplayed, rightly so. But
It was the slightest of gimmicks.
Yeah, it was the slightest of gimmicks, and if they hadn't called it Off Hour, they really could have just named it like a regular episode, and it would have been fine. But they just
Oh, that would have been cool. A regular episode.
Yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been refreshing.
This time
too.
it's Star Trek.
Yeah, don't keel over. We're back to Star Trek now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I liked about this is the writers did put a number of like little Easter eggs when they talked about the warp threshold. I think I saw threshold once, and that's really what they were talking about there when they turned into
Yeah.
lizards, right?
I'm thinking, yeah.
So we got that.
The warp 10 limit is turning into
Right.
yes.
What was their
yeah.
threshold? Was that warp 10? So it was
warp
the same
10, I
thing,
believe,
right?
So no, when they said warp threshold, I'm like, are they what? Because the
Did they
warp
mean
10
warp 10
were-
and
10 was
infinite
the
everywhere
scale.
and lizards and
It was
stuff?
always the same thing, but they redid the scale. It's like they went
Oh,
from
so
English
it wouldn't
to
have happened.
centigrade. Original series, they got to warp 10 and warp 12, and there was one time they were at
Oh,
warp
that's right.
14, and they
Where No Man Has
rejiggered
Gone
the
Before, right?
scale.
No-
yeah.
No One
well,
Has
and then
Gone
they had
Before.
aliens like Nomad or some, the Kelvins affected it.
Nagilum?
Yes. Well, no,
yeah.
in the original series. And then
Oh, okay.
they did a when they sat down to think tank TNG and like, what did we let go off the rail? Here's all the things we let happen that we're going to fix out of the gate. Like, we're going to tie down warp drive. We're going to tie down star dates. We're going to tie down the shape of the galaxy and all this stuff. And how warp drive works. We're going to tie all that down so we don't have writers coming up with it every week and it wobbles all over the place. And we won't have the transporter breakdown every week. 3 years later, we'll have the holodeck breakdown every week. But the whole warp 10 limit thing was you approached ultimate whatever. You're a point in every point in the galaxy. That's what that was. And then Brannon said, let's dramatize that. I mean, it sat there for years and nobody made a big deal out of it. And then he said, let's dramatize that in Threshold is how they thought what would happen if somebody broke the warp 10 barrier. But the warp 10 barrier was not a thing until TNG era or sometime between Kirk and Picard's time. And then they named the episode Threshold on Voyager. So when they're sitting here 100 years earlier and they say the warp threshold, I'm like, no, they're not going to say it's warp 10 now. And then they kept saying
I don't think
it over
they
and
ever.
over. And then when they did it, I went, oh, they're just talking about going from sublight to warp. They're just going to warp 1. They kept saying the warp threshold, the warp threshold. I said,
Oh, really? I
otherwise
didn't
known
get that. I
as
thought that they were going so
to warp.
fast.
No,
No.
they were all dead. And then she says something about having impulse, and they're all grinning like hyenas because they've got impulse. They were like just dead, kind of, and sucked along in the flow, or they were getting a little bit of momentum. So
Somehow they were being pushed along in that
Yeah.
slipstream.
Yeah, and so when
And
they
I
said
thought that-
threshold, they meant we're going to get to warp 1 from sublight. And I was like, so we used to call that going to warp 1.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody we need some ship wonks and some warp wonks to explain
the
it to
episode
us.
Threshold is so infamous. They had to know when they said warp threshold. That's what all of us would be thinking
That's
about.
what I thought.
And
But
I
they
love
didn't
the
go to
fact-
warp 10. And if they had gone to warp 10, then you'd be going, I'm sorry, did you all just redo the scale now? And everything that happens in 5 and 8 years is all a lie because we've been told it.
Well, they never gave a warp number in this, as far as I know.
I think eventually they
And
finally
they
said they were
could-
just at warp. So
And maybe it could be, quote, the warp threshold because they're in this bombarded neutrino slipstream thing that no matter what their scale they have, it's immaterial. Like maybe they know that there is a warp threshold that they're not going to get anywhere near with the engines that they have.
Yeah.
And before they get to the Galaxy class and the TNG stuff and they recalibrate all that, it's just this theory that they have.
my thing is, if they just want to say that in this time period they call going from sublight to warp 1, and they call that entering the warp threshold, that makes
But
sense.
why would that
that's fine.
make them like dissipate into atoms of space-time? Like I think it's got to be something more than just going to warp.
Because they
It's
were
gotta,
out of control.
but it's got to be reaching some kind of maximum warp limit in the way that I saw.
Well, it's because of the thing they were in. It's kind of like when you re-enter Earth, if you don't have the exact right angle.
I think that the scientific explanation that we're looking for is because reasons. I think it's because reasons.
I'm just glad all of their tongues didn't fall out at the end. I thought all their tongues were going to fall out. I thought they're going to have random babies with each other. I thought it was crazy.
But then I love the fact that they give Pike the Kirk chair last week, and they don't do anything with it really because it's the puppets. Right. But this week it is such a direct, not even just homage. It's like a ripoff of Court Martial, because I'm looking at the screenshots of the armrests on the chair, and it's funny because it's it's like tape with words on it. Then it says alert, jettison pod. Yep. It's the only thing. One is yellow alert, one is red alert, one is jettison pod, and that's exactly what was on Pike's chair there. I thought it was hilarious. And the fact that Spock went down to that ion thing, that's where Finney was when they jettisoned the pod. So they jettisoned the pod. And they explained it in James Blish's novel. Anyway, James Blish did. The fact that somebody had to go down there to study, like if they were in an ion storm. So they really did try to retcon that. They said, well, it's ions, but we can reconfigure it to find the neutrinos. And I thought that was, like, we always bitch, like they're really not trying to tie it in this is a beautiful little line of continuity that we got.
This is one of those times when they go, look, guys, look what we did. Look what we did. And then you go, what about the other 8 things? And they're like, but look at the thing we did. Look at the thing we did.
I mean, I'm just happy to get what we get.
Yeah. Well, we're 4 seasons in. We're going to get what we get.
So, I mean, just Hulk crawl is cool. And Spock does it a lot cooler than his sister, is all I'm going to say about that.
It's a family thing, though. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's kind of like urban surfing. It's like, you're not really, I don't even know, what's Spock's last name?
Fritzwild or whatever that was.
You're not a Zixer Fritzwild until you've walked on the hull of a starship at warp.
Yeah.
The thing that Dorothy Fontana told some fan in a letter, she wrote a bunch of letters down or typed a bunch of keys. And then that fan went, look, everybody, Dorothy Fontana says what Spock's last name is. And here it is. Here, this is it.
You'd find it unpronounceable.
What is it?
Wow. That's pretty funny.
Wow.
So here it is in Jeff Mandel's Officer's Guide. So I just want to say real quick, the thing about Finney and the ion pod, no one ever said where that was. It was like never tied down.
They did have a shot. They did have a shot of it blown.
No. I mean back in Court Martial. I mean, original.
No, they did. Yeah, no. I was looking and I saw a shot of the secondary hull with like a black mark where the pod supposedly came out.
Maybe
I don't know if
maybe they did it in the remaster.
Before.
Did they do it in the remaster?
Is that the
maybe
remaster?
I just know what I looked up on the internet 5 minutes before we got on.
Okay. I keep forgetting that got done. Oh, excuse me. On the remasters that wasn't around for 30 years that we all got used to. Because all I was going to say was Jeff Mandel in his cool little officer's manual I was just showing you, he finally said, okay, guys, I will locate the ion pod. And he put it in the middle of the lower sensor dome here.
So does what happens?
But it was never on screen. This was him trying to gap fill something that nobody ever. So now this one, I'm happy to say they showed this at the top of the. He says he's going along the top of the secondary hull, and you can see the nacelle pylons to guide him.
Yep. Yeah.
So I'm
they
happy
did it on the
that
secondary
it's finally
hull.
now been tied down.
Yeah.
Yay.
And when they want to send Spock back to the Kelvin verse to Superman trick him to say his name backwards? Is that how that
works? It is now. Congratulations.
Can you help me with the Tekken of the tech? What were they trying to do? Spock had to get some number, and then Scotty had to type in the number. Why couldn't the computer figure out the number?
Because everything was down.
They had no sensors.
They said, there's little things that drive me. They kept saying, we're down. They kept talking about the inertial damper like it was a thing. Like she's going to wrap duct tape around the inertial damper. It's like it's a field. There's an emitter for it.
Right.
Like gravity, it's like saying, "Oh, the gravity is down. Now I have to like fix the gravity."
No, but I mean, no. They said, no. She just said I got him back online, but that took the
But
last
I'm
of our
saying
power.
that, and there was something else where they talked about things kind of clunky.
But the dampeners are even more important than life support.
They couldn't have been offline at all, or they would have all been mush.
They'd be paste.
They would have been
Yeah.
jelly on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she says it was but with sensors even. They say we're down to one sensor, and like no, you're down to one sensor grid, or you're down to one sensor array. But they kept saying we're down to one. Spock's dealing with and Scotty goes, up, there goes our last sensor. And I go, no, it was your last sensor thing. It's not like one little.
I mean, but you got to think that they're going to be speaking in shorthand.
Well,
They all know what they mean.
This bunch, they didn't even on Discovery. This bunch, I'm going to sound negative. There's just,
it's okay a little bit.
Time
it's okay.
when
It can't be any worse than me last week.
They may think they're simplifying. I mean, we used to laugh at them being the other extreme and being, like Technobabble City on Voyager. But Voyager was like TNG on steroids. But they were trying to be so precise and technical and not have any of the tech heads go, what? And DS9 ignored that, but they didn't dumb it down. They just didn't go there. And, Ira was like, we are not bogging down. But these guys, it's like they take away the last word in the phrase and they simplify it, but it just sounds clunky to me. I'm sorry. It's like, you watch the original series and Spock will talk about memory banks. Okay, that sounds 60s. That sounds a little dated, but it doesn't sound clunky the way sometimes they talk on this show. Like the Puppet Show, one of the things that bugged me the most about the Puppet Show was they talk, here's your new chair with the hand control. And I'm like, the hand control? What about manual control? What about touch control? The hand control?
Because they had to hang a lantern on that because his hand didn't work.
Well, I know, but it would have been the same. What was the difference between saying manual control or touch control? It just hand control sounded very.
It all sounds vaguely erotic,
down.
is all I know. It's just.
It's like now the term is warp bubble, where they used to say a subspace field or a subspace. The subspace bubble? No, they said something. Anyway, now the term is warp bubble. The warp bubble.
They did mention as long as the warp bubble stays intact, Spock should be okay. So they must have been going at warp, right?
It's just that warp bubble used to be the way they would dumb down. They'd say it's like a plate of pasta. If I had thrown grape jelly into it, remember they were.
Damn it, Larry! Now I want pasta with grape jelly.
I'm sorry.
I think that they serve that at the Port Lounge.
It's like the thing they used to do.
They're so chill on this ship. They walk around ordering za. They don't even call it pizza anymore.
Yeah, I give up.
The kids of the 23rd century. They're always
this really was a relief episode. Don't take everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
Larry's like, get off my primary hull.
He said they rarely say secondary hull in Star Trek ever. And he said it in this. Usually TNG was the battle section or the battle hull or whatever, but he actually said something.
Yeah, I'm sure it made our cadet Admiral Rick Tatro very happy because he can't stand that they call it saucer section. He's like, it's the primary hull. It's not the saucer section. But anyway, I like the hull crawl primary.
Don't even get me going on dampers and dampeners, because dampeners.
I said dampeners. Dampeners.
Yeah. Well, they started off saying dampers, but everybody and their dog says dampeners, and I keep waiting to see the little like mist and the water.
That's where Penelope got it from. Thank you for clearing up that mystery, Larry.
I like the hull crawl, but for part of it, I felt like it was 60s Batman. Like he was climbing up,
like the window was going to whip open, and
it just felt like that for a second.
Chapel would pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like Doug Jones out of makeup.
Can you grab me some milk while you're out?
So just for a second.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Somebody
would, Well, I mean, there was just so much going on. I was glad that everybody had their moment. I think the only one, Uhura, she was the most TOS Uhura that she's ever been in this episode, because she did nothing but try to raise comms.
I think
like
she
that was it.
Yeah. And act like comms was exactly the same amount of importance as every other system.
Yeah, well, it is when you think about it. Sure. I mean, where are their communicators?
I mean, it kind of
they don't have communicators.
That was kind of the point of this, is when they couldn't talk to each other. Is when they were the most cut off.
Yeah, I was like, it was super important in this one because everybody was separated.
Yeah.
But they were all connected, right?
So, I mean, couldn't they go into one of the shuttles
Connected
and use the
as in-
sensors in the
connected
shuttle?
as in they
Connected
needed to.
over voice. Like
Yeah.
it seemed to be
Okay,
everybody
so
had their
Larry,
own
you
channel.
have to help me out with this, Larry, because they do this now because they just think they're on TNG. Nobody has to go to a wall panel to do comms anymore. They can just speak into the ether. And the thing is, okay, so Christine is in sickbay,
Yeah.
talking to Boyce on stereo, I guess. It's like broadcast, but she's whispering, and he's like, "What?" And oh, you heard that, did you, Joseph? Yes, because you're speaking into thin air, you idiot! Like,
And there's
you're
no one
hearing
else
him,
in the
I'm
room,
hearing
and it
him.
echoes. Yeah.
Right? It's not like you were at the panel at the wall across the room whispering to
Now,
each other.
one thing
Yeah.
they did every
That
time
bumped me.
Scotty in his little tube in his natural environment, he did have a little. It was almost like it was a little telegrapher key. He would hit that key and talk, and then let up and let off, which
That
was
was
a
nice.
throwback. But
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
like in a weird. But yeah, that one moment when Chapel's talking to Boyce, it was like you're talking. I kept wanting her to hit her comm badge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a little odd. Yeah.
I was just like, character-wise, I was annoyed that she wouldn't just tell Mbenga what was up. I'm like, he knows what his situation is. Like, he's a doctor. He knows that he's
Right.
But he was
smushed.
the one
shocked,
thing,
though.
yeah.
What
but
does it
he's
say?
in shock.
It's unclear. No, it's not unclear. There's a desk in me. Like
Yeah, she goes.
Why are you
she
trying?
goes
I'm not a
about
rookie.
it.
You can just tell me.
I really wish that he would have said, don't you think that if anyone's going to cure me, it might be me? Like, he's got a lot of experience that she doesn't, and would she think that? I know that she doesn't want to worry him or whatever. He's in shock, but he does in a roundabout way save himself. Due to his own, like, what was the name of the daughter? I forget. They mentioned it, but that was
Azura
such
or
a great
something?
episode. That episode made me
like
cry.
J and Z has a J and a Z in it, doesn't it?
Jazara?
No, I think that's Spock's last name.
No,
I
I've said it for.
I thought it was the whole cartoon logic. He was in shock, and Benga was in shock, so Christine couldn't tell him. Otherwise, then he would die.
No, okay.
Oh, like
Kind of like
sleepwalking?
looking down once you're off the cliff.
All right.
walking.
Yeah, exactly. Just like sleepwalking.
We have to talk about Babs. I think he did a great job the whole time. And I was guarded because I felt like maybe he dies here. But then knowing that he is in the original series, I was kind of like not letting myself go there because I knew that they weren't going to do it. So I was confused as to what to feel the whole time because I feel like it would have been a much better episode had he died.
Wow,
Why do you think it'd be better?
Not that I dislike him. I love him.
Okay,
But
if
just
he
for
had
the-
died, what would you have wanted the power of his death to do?
Yeah, why do you think it'd be better?
Dramatically, just to go through some loss. Because what's the last time we had lost a character? It was
This is Marie.
Oh, that's right, Marie. I was going to say it was Hemmer, but
yeah, Hemmer is what I was thinking. Marie, she was more of a guest star, not a main cast member, right?
I feel like she was on more episodes than Hemmer was.
Like Hemmer,
Yeah.
I felt that when Hemmer died, I cried, and I wanted
Actually,
to
when
be there
Hemmer
with
died, I was like,
Mbenga.
when Marie died, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
So I guess our mileage varies.
and
Just
then,
like the
when they
Enor.
lived their life that they didn't get, I was like, oh,
That was also the end of Superman and Lois. I like that. I like that a lot. Going back to Superman. Superman said Lois's name backwards, and she went to the Bizarro universe.
as one does. But what do you think of Babs' performance?
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
that they showed genuine pain. He wasn't just stoic, that he's screaming. He's trying to get that table off of him.
yeah.
He's just, everything. I was going to save this for my final thoughts, but every performance in this was exemplary.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It just shows you, again, with the right direction and the right script. I mean, this is one unstoppable ensemble.
Even Pelia.
Even Pele. I mean,
Yeah.
they led. It was like this. Oh my God! This is why they got Carol Kane.
Did anybody
finally-
else? For one thing, it was sad. This is why I mixed thoughts about the puppet show. But I thought that like the puppet show was my favorite Pelia episode ever. I was like,
Well,
why
she
didn't-
was adorable.
Why
That
didn't,
was
no,
an
I
adorable
like,
little
why didn't
puppet.
she get these lines? But not only that, it's like, if you really meta looked at it, when they're outside in the space, I was laughing about Lower Decks taking on the meta things and making them into actual dialogue, but they're solving the puzzle when you think it's goofy and it's absurdist. But when they're outside, and I mean, I was with it was quasi dramatic, although it was a little too much. And now I found out they did it on the fly. The glass hands, Spock and Kirk. But when they're putting Kirk in the airlock, and it's like, well, I mean, Kirk, they're putting Pike in the airlock. You're like, wow. And then as soon as he's out there, I went, wait, it's the puppet. And then they come back around to that, right? And they're like, oh, wait. And they're cut in half and they're restuffed. And I'm like, okay, if that's going to be the logic of the show with the puppets. And this is before I knew it was just a dream. And I'm like, what are they going to do? How are they going to, canonize this transporter? What's the wacky doodle real world explanation for all this? It's going to be any show that's stretched to accommodate something. This is going to be the threshold of concepts, for life form and whatever, messing around with our regulars. And that's why it was like, oh, thank God, it's just a dream. But then looking back at everything, when they're out there floating and they're all outside and they're like puppet, or Mbenga says, space can't kill puppets. And you're like, oh, well then how are they going to, what are the rules going to be then? And then when they're out there and she says, look, we're even talking to each other. How do you do that in space? I'm like,
yeah.
She's making fun. It's like she's saying it out loud, but she's making fun of the absurdity of the moment, but she's making it a fact. Like, this is absurd. And then it was like the musical show, the musical episode. Like, they were all mad about the fact that they were having to sing and that they were being controlled by an alien presence. And the fact that it wasn't just magical, the Buffy show singing, but the fact that they were stuck in being controlled and singing by another power, presence, whatever, and they didn't like it, and they were all very conscious of the fact that they were trying to stop it and quit it. That helped me. So when the puppets are saying, this is crazy, how are we doing? Like, we're puppets. Well, then that makes no sense. As an audience member, you're going, yes, this makes no sense. And so you're either dreading what reason they finally dredge up to explain it. And I'm so stupid. I didn't even see the dream coming. I mean, good on them, good on me. It was relief, but I loved how in hindsight they had the puppets being the meta observers. And I went down this path. But I remember thinking, God, Pelias got better lines now than she's ever. She's not playing goofball. Oh, look, I'm teasing about a Doctor Who connection. She's actually delivering things that get you down the plot and dropping clues. I mean, who knew it? And then she's barefoot, and that's a thing for some reason.
I love Pelia.
But then this one, it was like, okay, this is what Pelia should be when she's not a puppet and still having a good scene. And I didn't know if she was falling over, though, why she kept, I mean, I get it now, but that wandering around her room in her robe, like, had she been sick and they had to rewrite her scene and she was just going to wander around the. But she was off duty and she was, chilling and she couldn't go anywhere. You guys tell me, when they first mentioned Pelia the first 5 or 6 times and they keep saying, we can't get through to Pelia, we can't get through. Did you think she's not in the episode and they're just going to say through the whole time they're not going to be? Yeah. And then she pops up and I'm like, oh my God. And then Pike comes back to life out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's like it kept staying surprising is the other thing.
A few things,
and I like that he gave Erica the cone. I like.
Yeah, I really like that.
And
she did a good job. On the con.
Yeah. She was very commanding.
Has she always been guest starring on the show? Because I've noticed in the closing credits now it says guest starring Carol Kane. She's not in the opening credits.
I think she's always been back there. She's been kind of like the Pulaski of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last week when she was a puppet, I've been watching all the behind the scenes stuff that's been coming out, and the puppeteer was actually doing like an impression of her voice as she was doing it. So, and then when I rewatched the episode after that, I was wondering, is that her voice or is that somebody doing her voice? I don't know. We got to find that out.
I think it's probably her voice.
But I felt it was weird in this episode because she was going all around her quarters trying to find the leak when the
that's
vacuum,
what she was doing.
Yeah,
what she was doing.
Because she's in tune with the ship, so she knows that there's a leak.
That's
somewhere.
the whole thing. She knows that there's something. You got to listen to the bones.
But the surprising thing at the end was the leak was towards the corridor, which is where the vacuum was, or the lack of life support.
Oh, I didn't know that's where
it would have been on that wall the whole time. I don't know.
I just know that she shuttle pod won it without potatoes.
Yeah.
She took an antique bike tool, bike patch, and stuck it over there.
Duct tape.
I had thank you, Albie. You guys all are nodding. I had no idea that's what the hell she was doing.
Oh, no, that's what she was doing. And it was just like a visual object lesson.
That's
like
why
what she's telling Scotty is the way that she is the way that she approaches the ship. Like she listens, that she notices things that nobody else would because she knows the ship so well.
My poor brain.
She's teaching Scotty. She's teaching Scotty to know. I mean, that's something that
I got
they
that
wrote
in the
books.
end, but to get
Like,
there, the way that
they could just tell the feel of the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the barefoot thing. Maybe that's the barefoot thing with their race. It's like they it's like Toph on the Avatar, or like Shoeless Joe Jackson. You gotta like it's really getting
Guys.
in tune.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
It's like really getting in tune with
Feeling
your,
like deck
with your ship.
John, is
It's
that
like
a
Sockless Jerry Simpson.
is that a lanthanite thing, and that explains Ake
Yes,
for
that's
all
right. It's a
the Ake
lanthanite
haters?
thing.
That's what he's
It's
saying.
why
Yes.
they hate wearing shoes. Well, not hate it, but like they feel more connected.
They
without
prefer
the
not.
shoes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, because I went
I'm
from
making that canon.
she's not in this.
Somebody
I
write
went
that
from
down.
she's not in the episode at all to, oh look, she was sick, but they got her in for a few scenes, but she has to hold herself up by walking around. She can't interact with any other people. She's going to be in these loose fitting clothes. She's walking around her room, and I kept going, this is sad, but it's so obvious. Like it's like when Gates is, standing behind a console and she has a robe, she's pregnant. This is like, gosh, Carol Kane was sick and she's barely alive, but they've got her filming in this. But that's a perfect example of why.
I did think
weird,
when they showed her in like her shivvies or her nightgown or whatever, I did think, because she was a puppet in the last episode and she was this and this, I'm like, she just doesn't want to wear the uniform. Like she's Carol Kane, she didn't have to. Like she was like, write me a couple of episodes where I'm just not in this uniform. I want something free flowing, if you don't mind. Yes, Miss Kane.
I
As
went
you
to
wish,
all
Miss
these
Kane.
real world reasons for why it was rolling out the way it was with her. And
yeah, no, it was all in service of the story.
And then I was laughing at her and it's like she's having to hold herself up by touching. Now, by the time it got to the end, and then he's mocking her, and then they walk in and look at each other holding the same wall. I mean, I got it by then, but in the first go through, I was like, my God, get that woman a chair if she can't fall. She's about to fall.
I love a chair to lay in.
the Palia and Scotty thing, it was almost for me when I was watching it, because she's the teacher, he's the student, but it was like the passing of the torch of being the chief engineer. And it reminded me of Relics, because when he was lost and he didn't know where to go or what to do, he went back to the original Enterprise. No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Yep.
And for me, we saw where Scotty fell in love with the Enterprise, which is in this episode. So I love
agree.
that part.
Yeah, I agree.
I think his whole worldview turned. Yeah.
It all happened in Jeffrey's tube. So
as things do.
There you go. Jeffrey's, you never know what happens in the Jeffrey's tube. It stays in the Jeffrey's tube.
Like that classic love story of a boy in his tube.
Yeah, well, I've been there. Is there any other points we got in this episode? There's so much to talk about. But we got more to do.
I think, we got more to do. But any other points?
I've got one. It's not so much a point. It's a reference that I don't know if anyone else in the world is going to make it, but when M'Benga's trapped but if you move the table, like his guts will fall out and he'll die, but the table's keeping alive. It reminded me, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. He was like chasing a criminal, I think, and he chases him into a cave. Boulder falls on him. And it's the whole episode is basically like Hercules and this criminal. It was almost like a not a morality play, but it was like a personality thing. And he's explaining, he's like, yeah, I'm a criminal, but blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I relived this hard life. And it's like, you learn like who he is as a person. But basically, crushed by a boulder. And he's like, you're Hercules, just take it off of me. And Hercules, yeah, if I take it off, you're going to die. Like, once I take this off, you're going to die. So the whole episode was him just kind of confessing his sins. And then, he dies after. But like,
for me, it was that M. Night Shyamalan movie where the kid's mom, I think, is trapped between a truck and a tree or something, and she's only alive as long as it stays there.
What was that movie? I don't know.
The one with the water,
Signs.
glasses of water.
Signs. Yeah, with the Wizard of Oz ending. Yeah.
Oh, Signs.
Signs. Whole part of that movie was I think it was the mom that was crushed in half, right?
Yeah. That was the last scene. And it's funny because it reminded me of an actual
episode
thing
of
that
MASH
happened
where Hawkeye was crushed in half.
Hawkeye was right. But there was an actual thing that happened in New York City subway where the guy sort of got hit by the train, and then he got stuck between the platform and the train, and his whole bottom was all twisted up. And he knew there's no way they were going to save him, but he was like he was alive, and he got to say goodbye to his family.
At the waist.
And they actually, I think they did an episode of either The Shield or NYPD Blue. That dramatized that, but it was like a true story.
Wow.
So it reminded me of that. But could you imagine? I mean, the gap between, they always say mind the gap, but the gap is like, it's like this big, like how could you get, but I guess the train's going fast enough. And
I am fine accepting, the trick of the super neutrinos, and she used it to fix Mbenga. What exactly? She said stitched him back together, but I don't understand what that meant. Is it like she just fed, like it was just like material, and she used that plus the dermal regenerator to like rebuild body parts?
You're making canon in this episode. You already made some canon. You make that canon too.
She just said I can use the heavy neutrinos or whatever they were, the heavy neutrinos, and it's. I took that to mean the reason that Scotty could use it and she could use it is basically just like.
The same thing. They're like magic regeneration.
Yeah, it's just like
it was hand wavy super science,
basic matter, and I can use it.
Mm-hmm.
I can run it through my medical stuff, and I can make it medical. Like I can make it organic material for you. But she said stitch you together, but it's not just that. It's not that he's like ripped apart. He's smushed. So like she would have to like, is she just rebuilding it out? Like I think
everything is there. So she's repairing
it.
She's repairing it from the inside.
It's like his the skin, his spine was still intact. It's just that all the organic, his organs and everything else had been compressed. And so if his spine is intact and some of the organs above, it's like it got him right below his major abdominal organ.
Yeah.
It just took out a chunk of, and he would bleed to death and whatever, but.
Yeah. And technically, I think there's people now that horrible things has happened to, and they're just like torso up and they're still alive. So,
I just wasn't sure what she was doing. I didn't have a problem living through it, or her doing whatever. I just wasn't clear because it's also
technology so advanced that it appears to us as magic.
It was also
for science reasons.
It's also necessary that also the freezing cold is going to keep your body intact while I do this. Okay, so is his body like intact and stuck as it is because it's freezing, or is it malleable enough that she's still adjusting it? And if she's adjusting it, why isn't the new stuff
-400 or whatever?
And okay.
I was waiting when they took the table away.
That was amazing. That was so good.
The what?
What'd you say?
When her finger popped off.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
It was great because I was like thinking of her face and parts of her head, and I was like, she would totally freeze to death.
That's what I was going to say. Was her eyes would have frozen over? I mean, she didn't cover her eye. The liquid in her eyes would have frozen the same as.
But she had some kind of clear mask off. But when her finger came off, I was like, okay, they called it out. I'm good.
Yeah, they gave you something. Guys, I was just waiting when she finally took the table away for her.
Guys, don't leave me, guys.
The broken bone, the broken finger, the fingers during the. It's like they really leaned into the body horror this year.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people are just very squeezy about that.
Lots of bits of the Starfleet
but it's very horror centric, but.
Yeah. But he was stuck to that pole, I guess, because when she pulled the table away, I thought he was going to tip over and shatter.
Right.
Like he was dipped in liquid nitrogen.
Well, no, I think, I guess he was stuck to the pole. I figured, I didn't even think about that because his legs were okay and his spine was okay. So, he was top heavy, as it were, but as long as he didn't bend over. I would have thought that she would, because I was worried that his hands were going to be stuck to the table, and was so that he'd just be, I wasn't worried about it, but I was,
it's just a funny visual to me.
We have to give credit to the practical effects people, and I think maybe the digital effects a little bit when they were showing his legs, but it looked real, and I knew it was just him standing in a table or sitting in a table that's got a cutout around his abdomen with his shirt down. Oldest magic trick in the book. But every time I looked at it, I was like, ugh. It just got me every single time.
It's those abs of steel. Unless a
Babs
man,
have
I
magnetic
would have
fields.
been paced, but like Babs got it.
Well,
It was done well, I think.
of anyone in the main cast, anybody, he's the one to have that happen to them and survive. It's the physical
Even
trait
though that's
as
a
well.
cliche, push somebody out of the way and just stay there. No, you go with them, right?
Yeah.
Well, but I was the way that happened. I was fine with it. It like
Okay.
he really did like.
I'm sorry. I just
What?
Well, it just goes into what we're going to next. I think that we have an obvious episode crush.
Oh. So
It
is that
was
your
bound-
episode crush
that
and
was
Benga
bound to
being crushed?
happen. Yeah, I mean, he was actually crushed. So
Oh,
my
man.
episode crush is.
See, you gotta clip that one too, Albie. That's two. That's clip number 2.
You know what we need to do is we need to go back and digitally
too
insert
soon?
a bottle of orange crush in his hands.
Oh no.
Okay.
So yeah,
So John, who was your episode crush?
My episode crush. As we've said, a lot of good performances. I'm gonna go with Scotty because I feel like this was the like you said, this is the episode where he starts where he levels up to be closer to the Scotty that we know.
100%.
He starts to grow up.
It starts to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
He just becomes closer to the
I
Scotty.
can't wait till I hear what he says when the episode comes out, and I can read the caption. I'm sure I'll love
Let
it
me
even more.
banana. That's my Scotty impression. My episode crush is Cadet
Engineering.
Asha. Cadet Asha.
The
Asha,
slut
huh?
string.
Oh,
Yeah. To
interesting.
me, she was very evocative of T'Pol. And I
No.
think that's what I liked about her.
no. Oh, I'll fight you.
Okay.
We'll have fisticuffs over that, sir. When I see you next.
Wow.
It'll be fun. How dare you? How dare you?
But yeah, I thought she
Dr.
was
Trek.
looking good in this episode, and we got a little bit more character development for her, just a couple more minutes with her than normal. So I'm interested to see if they do anything with her. Why is she there? I want to know.
I nobody knows. That's
Okay.
the mystery of the
We'll
season.
find out,
I
hopefully.
don't think she. I don't. she's not
Mr.
very- she's
sorry,
not very
Dr.
recent.
Trek, Larry Nemecek. Who's your episode crush?
Wow. I wish you'd warned me about this.
It's okay.
I might. Oh gosh. Episode crush in this. They're so even, but and like there are people who have nothing for a long stretch of time in this, and then they do.
Mhm.
Like Spock is that way, and then he does, and La'an is that way, and then she does.
Mhm.
And Una starts off, and then she's quiet. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like she got the people I think got short shrift. I can tell you. This is really okay. You're gonna make me say this. It might be Scotty for me too. Even as much as I went on that rant early about it's like if this is going to be the show where they haven't forgotten to grow him up, I want to see how they add 6 inches to his height. But aside from that, I've been
Transporter
laughingly
accent.
It's okay,
kidding
you know,
about
Larry.
everybody having a trauma before we see them in Where No Man or first season.
But
And
you know,
this is kind of qualifies for that. I think.
crushes can be complicated. It's okay.
Yes.
It's no.
And sometimes we don't even know why we're crushing on them.
Pike's barely in this, except at the last part of the show feels because all the pieces are coming together.
Mhm.
I
That-
don't know. If not Scotty, then M'Benga. I mean, just for I've loved Babs this season and what they've done with M'Benga this season, even though he hasn't had a lot to do when he's had something. It's just, I think of all the things they've done for Strange New Worlds, M'Benga may be the most creatively original that I want to see stick around. I mean, I want.
Love Babs, love M'Benga.
And the whole thing about the doctor that was a killing machine and
I want to
all
watch
that.
Dr. Spy.
you know,
in the Star Trek universe,
Yes,
100%.
yeah. More than on the same par of Garrick, only a different slice.
Yeah, I was gonna say just a simple doctor.
Right, he's going to show up in one of Bashir's holodeck programs.
Yeah.
that his friend
did
Felix
we do
makes
bumps
for-
yet? Because that's one thing
well,
that bumped me
well-
was Pike in the episode.
Why? Why did Pike bump him?
Like when he gets up and gets in the chair and has that like exposition dialogue. Oh, thanks for catching me up. Of course, He's caught up. He's, as soon as he got up, they would tell him what's going on, but he had to say like, okay, this is where I am in the episode and this is why. Okay. And then he did the scene. So that kind of bumped me.
I love the bit when they're coming at him with the medical, the neutrinos are the hero, and it comes from Chapel and it comes from Scotty, and they're both theorizing on the fly. And Pike is like us, and he's going, okay, now what? Now what? The strong?
Yeah.
What? Now wait, what? Now
How does this do that and that? What?
That was more exposition, kind of like taking the place of the audience if you were dumbing it down, right?
The other thing, it's like Strange New insists on having their own terminology for things, kind of like we all got thrown by warp threshold, and I still think it means just going into warp, but it doesn't mean warp 10. The same thing with, they kept talking about neutrinos for fuel. They kept talking about fuel, and they mentioned deuterium once or twice. And I'm like, oh, he's talking about the matter side of the matter antimatter. And deuterium slush is usually what all the modern ships do. And they're talking about using these neutrino gobbledygook to somehow come up with an instant supply of matter, which is usually deuterium. And they were talking about the isotope. And I was like, oh, you guys, it's like you sure took your way through the, the scenic route to get us there. If you just used some standard Star Trek technobabble, we would have all known what you were talking about. Because they were saying fuel like they're going to pull up to a Fred's gas station and get something out of the pump. It's like, that's what they're talking about, is changing deuterium isotope to what they need and da-da-da-da. But they kept saying fuel like it was some new thing, like her little hose fixing Benga was going to be a little hose with fuel, neutrino fuel coming out of it. And it's like, no, but it's like, oh, that's what you meant. Well, then why didn't you just tell everybody that? It was just weird.
I think it's because they didn't want to, if I had to guess, I'm going to say that there was such tight pacing and such action. They didn't want to stop for, 5 minutes of technobabble like they would have on TNG.
Wouldn't want that.
They just wanted to keep it moving. Fuel. We need fuel. Okay. Moving on.
And I will say, as the layman watcher, I don't know all of the standard Star Trek terms.
And you realize if this episode drops below 55 miles an hour, it will explode. So
why didn't Scotty call it petrol?
Benzene. Call it benzene.
There you go. Yeah.
Not many bumps, but there's some there.
I'm still hung up on the slut stream. That's all.
I feel like
slut stream. I was like, what is a slut stream?
I want to know. Out of
really,
their
I want
way
to know.
to like the dialogue between Scotty and Ortegas. Like, we get it, you're friends, but like people don't talk to their friends like where everything is like they're super encouraging. Of course you did it. You're the best. You're awesome. Like, okay, like no, he did his job, and he was just like, just say, good job, Scotty. Like that's that's a good idea. But like everything is like, oh yeah, you nailed it. Like I knew you would. I'm like, just we get it. It's the
rebound from the hate fest. See, now it's like the reformed smoker. It's like
they didn't
the
hate
drug
that much.
reformed.
Like I personally, I may be alone in this. I liked when they had the kind of prickly, rivalry. I'm glad that they're friends. I didn't want them to be like enemies. But that's what I'm saying. You can f with your friends. Sorry, you can screw with your friends in a joking way, like we do it all the time. Like that's part of it. It feels
part of it.
Anyway,
David S. Pumpkins.
Yeah, that if anything bumped me, or I would say that's the thing that bumped me the most, was like every line where one of them is talking to or about the other. It was super complimentary. I'm like, dude, we assume you're all friends. Like you can just talk. It's okay.
You made me think of something, John, while you were talking about this. And for the record, I haven't seen episode 7, 8, 9, or 10 yet. But now that you said they're focusing super on the Scotty Ortegas friendship, and we are going to lose Ortegas, so you think it's going to have something to do with Scotty having to make that decision, or his responsibility of why we do lose her?
Maybe.
That's good speculation.
She might just transfer.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to kill her for her to not be on the ship.
Did you know? I don't know.
Has she?
She can fly another ship. She flies the ship. It doesn't have to fly that ship. She can just fly a ship.
If you're thinking that is why Sulu comes aboard to replace, I mean, for one thing, they have more than one. They have relief pilots.
I'm not saying you're wrong. You could be right. Yeah, but I'm not.
Well, I'm talking.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that should be dead.
Yeah, I don't.
I just
either.
think it's headed there.
I just feel like after Hemmer and then even Battelle not being even regular, I just feel like I can't believe they would kill off another. Like they don't have to prove that they're tough enough to kill off a regular. They did that. They checked that box.
Okay.
But maybe they had. Maybe
I
they
don't
do.
know.
I
she
just
gets-
think that they've invested so much time building these up. I mean, it was stupid, and Rick and Brannon came back and killed off Trip at the end of Enterprise after 4 years.
That didn't happen because it was all in
see
a hologram.
everybody, and everybody has retconned that away. So it's like we lived
He's
through
in
that.
Section 31.
These guys are savvy. I don't think they would repeat the Trip thing unless it was just a hugely, hugely, hugely
Well, they just
monumental.
sort of did with Benjamin. So
I don't want it in the last episode. I want it towards the
Yeah.
end of the series. But
Yeah.
I want to see her. I'm being selfish. I want to see her full arc. I don't want to be left hanging.
Yeah.
What's her arc from what to what?
From when we
alive
meet
to
her
dead.
until she's on the wall, the memorial wall of something she did.
Oh,
in the
well,
Oh,
line
that's
of
right.
duty.
You're going back to the lieutenant there. Yeah.
And
that's
then you're
right.
talking about Scotty, about getting to where he is, where we meet him in TOS. If he has something to do with it and he feels guilty, he starts drinking, he starts smoking, he starts aging. I don't know.
starts growing.
She's on shore
Drinking his milk.
leave. She's visiting Bajor before the Cardassian occupation, and this random Cardassian guy comes up, and she's trying to go in the fire caves, and they go off the cliff together, and
Oh,
that's what happens to her. So she's a
That's what
hero
happens.
that no one.
Oh.
No, I'm totally kidding.
okay. Hey, somebody will write a book out of that.
I'm totally
There you go.
kidding. It's a horrible ending for Cisco and as a character, and it's a horrible. Yeah, no, I'm
Okay. The only other little bump I had was Boyce himself, because I think a lot of us, at least I saw the fan casting that so many people wanted Jeffrey Combs to be Boyce, because that would have worked out with his age now. So when I saw it wasn't, I was like, oh, that's cool to see him, but it's not who we wanted.
yeah.
Has he not been on Strange New Worlds yet?
I don't think so. No, he hasn't been on any new
Jeffrey?
Trek, right?
No, Jeff.
No.
He was a
Jeff
voice
hasn't been
on Lower Decks. He was Agimus's voice on Lower Decks.
he was,
yeah,
he was
I
the
think he's
computer.
been on every
He was
other-
the evil computer.
Yeah.
Because he probably would have done it. And he would have made a great Boyce, I think. I don't know.
Clint
course he
Clint
would.
Howard did a bit on Disco.
Mhm.
He played it. I think
He was-
it's
he was
Ryan.
on the,
And he had a bit on
CD
Picard, didn't he? Clint Howard.
Clint.
I feel
Maybe.
like probably.
Yeah.
I think wasn't he a Ferengi or an Orion on? He was an Orion on Disco, but he was something on one of the.
He was a
CD.
Ferengi on Enterprise.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, he was a CD something on Picard. I thought.
Okay, I don't remember.
On
Yeah. Anyway, someone tell us down below.
Down below. Do we have favorite
John
parts of the
Irons.
episode?
Favorite part of the episode, John Irons.
Did you give your crush, Chris? Who was your crush?
Yeah. Come on, we had a whole joke.
I didn't know you were serious. I thought you were just making the joke.
No, quite frankly, I thought Babs did the best job in this episode. It
Yeah,
just
he was
happens to be that he was a literal crush,
He
too.
was great.
So I'm sorry I didn't clarify that. And I didn't. You're right. So-
My favorite part of the episode. There was a lot of good parts of this episode. I'm doing a clip show in my head right now and just trying to figure out the one that I like there. I guess you know what? I'm gonna pull the camera back and expand on Scotty being my crush. So the favorite part of my episode was like the conversation between Pelly and Scotty when he gets it and she finds the little thing, because you don't know what she's doing. The first time she's talking and she moves like a painting or something, and I'm like, oh, does she have some special tool or device or some material that's going to help the situation? But no, you don't know what she's doing. Like, is there a safe behind the painting? And she's just moving stuff and you don't know what or why. So the moment when she finds the leak and she imparts the wisdom and he is open to hearing it, like all of that kind of wrapped up both of their events nicely, I thought. So that was my favorite part.
Cool.
In an episode full of really good stuff.
How about you, Larry?
I knew you were going to come to me next.
All right. You want Albie? Albie, you first.
Okay, my favorite part is definitely Scotty falling in love with the Enterprise and getting closer to being the Scotty we know. But honorable mention has to go to when Chapel goes and gets the axe and goes, "Here's Chapel." That was great.
That was good.
I love how there's an axe in sickbay.
Well, no matter how future technology gets, an axe is always going to do the job if you need it in an emergency, right?
Sometimes you got to chop something off.
And I just love how she went crazy with the axe.
It is Mbenga's sickbay, and a Klingon might show up at any time.
And he does like to murder. Maybe he does like to axe murder
He
sometimes for a hobby.
does like to,
Yeah.
Maybe he's moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Chapel also likes to murder. Let's not.
Okay. Well, that's your thing.
Diminish her
That's your
killingness.
thing. They're like murder.
Murder docs.
Yep.
I think that my favorite part of the episode was honestly just the way it was put together, like the structure, the craft, the pacing, the whole thing. I mean, it's hard to pick out any one character moment. If I had to pick out a character moment, I think my favorite part was just like radiation ravaged Spock, and when he's sitting at the he just pukes up the blood. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I also appreciated
and the makeup was fantastic.
Yeah, his like literally kind of melting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A good use. I think they've done a mind meld an episode this season, but this was like a salient. I thought the best. I'll say the best mind meld of the season. I think so far. It wasn't just I don't have time to tell you. I don't have to. I don't want to take the 18 seconds that it would take to explain this verbally. So I'm just gonna mind meld you. Like no, he could like a mind meld was required here.
Yeah.
Shortcut mind meld.
And this reminds me of I don't know the production order versus the air order on with this episode, but I love the fact that Spock and La'an were still able to work together and care for each other and be coworkers and friends even after they just broke up.
I believe this was 6 of 6.
Okay,
I don't think
so maybe we're on track now.
If I saw it, because they have the slate up top.
Yeah.
So they slate
which is unusual for the screeners this year.
Yeah, it's cool though. It reminds me of being back in TV production.
Yeah.
You do bars and tone, and then you do your slate. Go ahead.
What was your favorite?
Maybe see the Scotty in the tube with Pelia talking might be one of them, but the Mbenga, it's like they've been saving Chapel and Mbenga the whole season for that. Here, and then they gave Spock a rest, although he had to do the action Spock thing on the hull. I'm gonna have to. I think they could have. There was many ways to play the whole Chapel. I didn't like it at the beginning. I thought it was over the top, and then later on, I even think they went a little far with their banging heads. Seemed out of character, and I guess in hindsight, they were just trying to give them a regret arc. So that when one of them nearly dies and the other one nearly dies trying to keep them alive, they can go, how petty we were to argue over such little things. I mean, and in hindsight, maybe it looks, but in the moment, it felt like it was a little like that came out of nowhere. Just the way the way Scotty and Ortegas's chitter at that one, that came out of nowhere. They're fighting and arguing. Seemed like it came out of nowhere. 3 episodes, whatever that was. But having said all that, I'm just drawn to their whole. It feels like they were the Stitch. I know Pike comes in at the end and thanks her for the neutrino theory, and everything else flowed from that. All the different areas of the ship that were cut off, survived. So I'm just gonna say the Chapel Mbenga dynamic, and especially from midway to the end.
I guess it really was like narratively, it was the through line, like the glue that held all the different parts.
Yes.
No pun intended. That it was a thin thread that held the two separated parts together.
Yeah, exactly. It was the magic solution to all their problems.
Yeah.
Did anybody at any time think Mbenga wasn't going to make it?
No.
I did, because I forgot that he was in the original.
Okay. Were you able to experience like the almost losing him of it then?
Yeah. I mean, as much as any TV character. I know the actor's going to be fine. But yeah, I got a real sense of peril. I didn't think that he would. Once they came up with, there's this long shot theory and it might work. I was like, okay, well then that's what's going to work. That's fine. Then he'll be fine. I suppose it could have not worked, but if he didn't work, that means that everybody dies, because that means that there's no heavy, either there's heavy neutrinos and he lives, which means the ship lives, or his thing doesn't work. But the ship, I felt like that would have, I guess that would have been, that they could have done that in a way that was like narratively that worked.
I was hoping
If-
for
if
it was
his-
just
if his
enough
thing
to save the
didn't work.
ship, but then it cuts off right before it saves Mbenga. 'Cause
Well,
when she
it was simultaneous, but they were doing
Yeah.
two different things with it. So yeah, we were able to use it to replicate the
Okay.
fuel, because fuel is just one thing, but we weren't able to, build a liver and repair his spleen, like all this other stuff that I would think would be more chemically complicated.
I think we already mentioned the 47, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah, it's 47 right at the top of the
47,
clock.
47, I think,
Yeah.
at one
They
point.
they made up for not having one last episode.
Yeah.
And
I
are
did-
we
I
all
did
ready
hear
for
I did hear the 24. Blink, blink.
Yeah, it was-
Right.
I'm just disappointed. I kept thinking that Port Galley and my memories of Poseidon Adventure, and I just kept waiting. They kept showing the up angle, and you saw the glass chandelier that I thought was stupid. I think it's stupid to have all that glass on a starship. Anyway, all the other
Well, and an open flame.
yeah.
that too.
Well, the fireplace. Yeah, but I kept expecting Boyce to pop up just so that chandelier could fall on him and crush him or something. I was
I mean,
just, that's who I
hardly
thought.
knew him.
Like, why does he turn up now? Really?
Yeah.
And why do they have him not Piper? And, do that. That's getting you forward, not... Anyway, that's what I kept expecting.
Did you like his characterization in the show?
It was just so not alike John Hoyt
Mhm.
playing him before. But it's like, pfft, what else is new? They've had no...
yeah, I got, it's funny. We went to what, but I think Piper bumped me a little bit. I think that I liked Mork much better on the Cage. And it's not just the martini thing. I just thought that this guy was he was just brusque to be brusque. He was kind of just mean. Like, and I get what he's in a triage situation. He needs his nurse. And
Right.
maybe that's why McCoy is comparatively better because, he can be curmudgeonly, but at least he's not a jerk. We're not often anyway.
I didn't mind, because you're right. From his perspective, he's like, you're a nurse. We got, dozens of injured here. There's one person there and you can't save them. You need to be here. I would have liked to have seen him, like when they were doing the epilogue in sick bay, if he had come in and had like a conversation with them. I think that would have been a good way to wrap that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you see him after he says, "Fine, I hope you got what you wanted. You're stuck there." I don't think you see him again.
That's what I wanted to ask about. I guess when Boyce said
he repairs the leg, but
when Boyce said, "Well, you got what you wanted." What did that mean?
she was stuck in sickbay.
Yeah,
She had like 40 seconds to get from sickbay to where he was.
Yeah.
And
Was he
before
just being?
life's-
Was he just being sour? Like just yeah? I mean, was he really that petty that he was just being sour?
Well, he said, I think he said something like, "You got what you wanted. Good luck."
Yeah.
So I do think he was pissed, but I also don't think he was like, great if you can do it, but we both know you can't. So like,
I almost thought it was like a thing where she was violating a direct order, so he was going to take further action afterwards. And you got what you wanted. You're not going to be on the Enterprise anymore.
oh,
And that might be a thing.
That.
That might be a thing coming forward.
Because I haven't seen
that's
7,
that's
8,
not going to happen. This is Pike's Enterprise. You can do anything up to and including murder, and you just
you
we
just
won't.
don't
do
want
it.
I
If Mbenga had died, then maybe. But again, if Mbenga had died, they all would have died because the heavy neutrinos didn't work. So.
Can they handle having holding two things at once? Like
I don't know.
having two doctors, having two. Because when Boyce is being pissy at Chaplin, ordering her to get down there. There was a nanosecond when I wanted Chaplin to go, well, if we had more medical personnel on the ship, there might have been some in the bar there with you already.
we have 18 minutes before your shift starts. You're not the boss of me.
And I have to say, Boyce is in the bar and he's not making drinks for people.
That's
What's up with that?
medicinal martinis. I put that I headcanon that.
Okay.
It was just because the gravity.
It was too strong.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah,
talk about like an inappropriate? But I did think when Mbenga first got smushed by the thing, I was like, "Oh, you're gonna die behind the bar, really?" You're now doing your fancy little tricks now, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I didn't say it. I didn't. But since we're,
Yeah.
I
Dr.
did think
Trek.
it when I saw it.
That's it.
Dr. Trek, do you know any Star Trek trivia?
No,
Because I got you for 3 questions.
I have no idea about what is this thing called trivia? What is it?
We're going to
Okay.
ask you questions and you're going to win.
And you're gonna you're
Okay.
gonna compete against the beautiful John Irons.
Guys.
So
Oh, the beautiful
John
Larry.
Irons.
Guys, don't,
Seriously.
yeah,
the 1st
don't-
question goes to Larry.
Let's
Larry
not even.
Nemecek.
Do we-
It is 60 years worth of stuff, guys. Come on.
Do we need to play out this farce where
Yes.
you're pitting
Don't,
the guy who
John,
just said he barely
Gives-
watches
gives
Star
me-
Trek against the
I think
doctor
it's
who wrote
pretty
the
even,
book?
John.
No,
You're going up against
no,
the guy who wrote the book on
this is
Star Trek.
cold turkey. This is point blank. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. In the motion picture, Larry Nemecek, in the motion picture, The Undiscovered Country, the explosion of what causes the Klingon Empire to seek peace with the Federation? Albie is the 3rd alternate.
Well, you mean the moon, Praxis? The
Yeah.
Praxis.
Yeah, okay.
Ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding,
the
ding.
Klingon moon. It says the Klingon moon Praxis.
Okay, I didn't know if
That's
you
one
meant
for
the
Larry
lithium
Nemecek.
on the
One correctly.
moon or the... Okay.
History remained consistent. The one that I knew.
What new Praxis?
You're gonna
I
you're
did
gonna know
Praxis,
this one.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're going to know this one, John. In the Deep Space Nine episode Trials and Tribulations, into what time period did Captain Sisko and his crew travel?
Oh, Kirk's Enterprise.
Yep.
Does that count?
There you
Fair
go.
enough.
The
Very
23rd
good.
century era of Captain Kirk and his starship.
John got one, so each got you
Enterprise.
for
So
3
there we
questions.
go.
So each gets
Alright.
4
1 to
questions,
1.
and it's 1 to
I will
1.
take a softball.
Larry Nemecek. What is the date of Earth's first contact with the Vulcans?
Ooh.
20. Oh, see, I always have to stop because they changed the date midway through production. It's either 2161 or it's 2163, and I think it's 21. I mean, not 20. Not. Oh, whoa. 2061 or 2063, and it's 2063.
What is the actual date?
Oh, it's overnight of April 4th into the 5th.
Right. There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Ding, 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 ding,
So,
ding.
That's
So
another one that
that's
I,
two
I have to
out of
stop and
3.
go, is it the 4th or the 5th? Oh, hedge, because it starts overnight and goes to the next day. Okay.
Wow.
John, you're going to know this
4 or
one.
5.
This
No,
one's
no.
so easy. Yeah, you're going to know it.
I
In
don't-
the Voyager
I don't believe you.
episode, in the Voyager episode, In the Flesh, why did species 8472 create a simulation of Starfleet Academy?
It's your question.
To lure unsuspecting villagers into their candy house for nefarious Soylent
That's
Green like
exactly what it says here.
Hansel and 7 of 9.
Beware of aliens bearing candy.
Larry, would you care to
let me-
steal?
let me
Otherwise,
try
we
to
push
think
to
about
Al.
this.
What? Because they wanted
so-
to see how tough humans. They wanted to battle test. They wanted to simulate an encounter and see how it played out.
Is that the same? It's kind of different. I mean,
Training to infiltrate the Federation, maybe?
Yeah.
it says as a reconnaissance mission.
Well,
Yeah,
but they built the
researching,
thing, so
learning
they're
about
reconnoitering the reactions of humans brought there.
All right, we'll give it to Larry.
Okay, I
Oh,
mean,
of course.
All right, Larry.
Dr.
All right,
Trek,
Larry,
yeah.
you get it.
I would believe Dr. Trek over Star Trek Seen It.
I had one of those.
Okay, Sabrina LeBeouf played Ensign Guisti in the Next Generation episodes Gambits Parts 1 and 2. In what long-running family sitcom did she play the oldest daughter, Sandra?
I know this.
Yeah. Like many things, those of us involved in something we may, Bill Cosby show.
Yep, you got it. I'm sorry, John.
That's
I was
okay.
going to say,
That's-
did I
that's-
do
was
that?
Like, wait, I know this.
Maybe.
It's the Serena LaBeouf. You know how I know? Guess how I know.
I did not know that one. Thinking back, yeah.
All right, John, but you might know this one.
Okay.
What cast member of The Next Generation worked as a choreographer with Jim Henson's Creature Shop? I'll give you a big hint.
Is it?
You don't
Well,
have to.
wait. I'll take
I
the
don't
hint
think-
first. I have a guess, but
Did
give
you
me
say
a hint.
what position did you say with Jim Henson, Chris? How did you,
Choreographer.
Choreographer.
That was one of two
choreographer?
positions.
Choreographer.
I mean, so do I get the hint or is it or
Yeah.
should I just make my guess?
This character also was one of two characters on a Next Gen episode that had an approximately 45-minute tap dance.
Okay, that's what. Yeah. So, Gates McFadden.
It was
And
And
Gates.
had it in her nickname. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah,
she also
she
went to clown college or something too. So
Yeah. Well,
that was.
I believe she was a choreographer, and she had a part. She played the secretary in one of the Muppet movies, and she was also a puppeteer in parts, I believe.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we
I
get
know my
Gates on
game.
the show to control our puppets.
That would be great.
There we
Love me
go.
some
Or to
Gates
control
McFadden.
you.
You know what,
But,
Albie? Create
yes,
a
Badass
Gates
Beverly.
McFadden puppet. Send it to her, please.
Okay, we'll do.
There
You
we
might
go.
be the first, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So that's guess who won that one? Dr. Shrek himself, Larry Nemecek.
We all had our
4-2.
questions.
John, you had an admirable showing.
I'm about to say,
Speaking of showing, it's time for Trek and Tell.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You were going to be modest about going up against Dr. Trek.
no.
We
I
both
was.
got all our questions, so I thought it was going to be a tie. But okay.
Well, no. You got one of mine. You got. I dropped the ball on one of them.
Okay.
You don't.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry. Me getting any is a
Doink.
big win for me. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to bask in the glow.
actually asked John the questions just for the comedy aspect of it.
I'm well aware.
No.
I know my role.
Don't.
No, it's totally
I'm
fine.
shocked to see that you didn't get me. I know it's easily stumpable, but it
Every
depends on
Abbott
how
needs his
hardcore your
Costello.
question is too.
Which one didn't John get?
I don't even remember.
Whatever the
I
second
put
one
them away.
was.
Okay.
It was
reconnoitering.
the Voyager.
The reconnaissance thing.
The
Yeah,
reconnaissance.
reconnaissance
Yeah.
mission.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Otherwise, it would have been 3-3.
Not bad.
So
That's really
yeah.
good against
So
Dr.
not bad,
Trek,
not bad.
Yeah,
So it's time for Trek and Tell. Who's doing Trek and Tell?
Who's got Trek and Tells today? I have
I got one.
Uh,
I got one.
We'll
I
let
got
Chris
nothing.
go. And we'll say
right.
Dr. Trek for last. How's that?
Well, you know me. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. You know me.
right.
I'm always doing something book related. And I don't think I've shown this on the show before, but since this is like an earthquake disaster pastiche episode, have you guys ever read or heard of the book Shatnerquake by Jeff Burke? It is one of my favorite books of all time. It's
kidding
really
me.
He's even got
it's a
the
little-
flying pike
Oh my
pose
God.
there.
Speaking.
yeah, there you go.
Speaking
So
of Hercules, the legendary journeys, this guy's like action pack written all over it.
What the heck is that?
So I got this years ago. I probably had this book for at least 15 years. So there's
Is that
the
supposed to
cover
be
art.
him? Is that him?
Yeah, that's Shatner and that's Kirk. So let me read you the blurb on the back.
Wow.
It's Shatner versus Shatner. After a reality bomb goes off at the first ever ShatnerCon, all of the characters ever played by William Shatner are suddenly sucked into our world. Their mission, hunt down and destroy the real William Shatner, featuring Captain Kirk, T.J. Hooker, Denny Crane, Priceline Shatner,
Denny Crane.
Cartoon Kirk, Rescue 911 Shatner, Singer Shatner, and many more. No costume congoer will be spared in their wave of destruction. No redshirt will make it out alive, and not even the Klingons will be able to stand up to a deranged Captain Kirk with a lightsaber. But these Shatner-esque clones are about to learn a hard lesson, that the real William Shatner doesn't take crap from them or anybody, not even himself.
I've never heard of it. Tell me Mustache Shatner is in there too.
I don't know, maybe with TJ Hooker.
Maybe.
So yeah, the only honest, I love this book and it's just such a goof. It's hilarious. It's not good, but it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's not good, but it's awesome. And the only gripe I have is that what does Captain Kirk need with a lightsaber? It's like, what does God need with a starship? What does Kirk need with a lightsaber?
I got that reference.
I've outgrown
So yeah, so if you want if you want disaster.
I'm so disappointed, but I'm
A
showing my
reality
age here.
bomb.
I thought they were going to go obscure. I just now checked the dates. I guess this is like when I first blew up with Star Trek. That right about that time, Shatner was in a short-lived Western where he was a master of disguises. It was called The Barbary Coast, and I was expecting one of those character lists, that name list. I don't ask me I had to look it up, but his character name was Jeff Cable, and he was partnered with Doug McClure. But anyway,
we can write Jeff Burke.
he was like he
Will-
was like a James West 10 years later as a anyway. I was
Master
like,
of
He's kind of
Disguise,
like Master of Disguise Spock on Mission Impossible,
yeah,
right?
Pistachio
yes,
Spock.
yeah, it was a thing. Master of
Disguisey.
Disguise. Yeah, Paris.
Spock's last name is Disguisey.
Very good.
There we go.
Should I
Paris
go with my
is
Trek and
pretty
Tell
good.
before Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek?
Yeah, you do it, Albie. It's
I
all
got
on
this
you.
box. Now, I think I ordered it 7 to 10 years ago. I'm not sure. but it finally came a couple days ago.
Oh, I was wondering when you were going to show this.
and I made a joke many times walking to the mailbox. Maybe today, after years. And I sold my house years ago, and I sent them an update of my address, and I figured they wouldn't figure it out. And then I finally sent it to them, like who I want to leave it to if it ever does come out in my will. But it actually came out. It was actually in the mailbox. I was shocked. I'm going to open it right now.
Oh,
The Star Trek Voyager documentary.
2.
Well, one's for Serenity because she's in the credits too. So we both got her name in the credits.
Ah, awesome.
So
this is a like a
yes,
a
To
Kickstarter
the
thing?
Journey, the
To
Star
the
Trek
Journey.
Voyager documentary. It's good. We reviewed it here once. It's
Yeah,
got
we
a
did.
lot of bonus features now.
it's like the most
But
extended
I'm just
birth
shocked
ever.
that I'm holding it in my hand. I
You're
didn't think it would ever happen. After about 12 years, I gave up.
Well, never give up hope.
Never surrender.
Never.
That's my Trek intel.
If Voyager has taught us anything, is that persistence will get you there.
I should open one, huh?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It won't be mint anymore.
That's okay. We're gonna watch it. I think there's
Kinda like
more
our
bonus
Ensign
features,
Lynch.
right? Is there an extra bonus disc? Did you get one a long time ago? Probably, Larry.
I got mine at Vegas,
You got yours in Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're
and I'm in
unpacking
it, and Janet is in it.
Oh,
I guess
cool.
we should have gotten 2 since we should have gotten 1 apiece.
Yeah, well, I got 2 just so. Okay,
You
so
had
there's
2
many
backers.
discs.
Well, yeah.
Can you fix that real quick? My production assistant is fixing the insert. Kind of snapped out. Okay. So looks like we got 1, 2, 3 discs.
They look like soccer balls.
Is that what that is? I'm
Is
gonna
it a
say
transporter
the holodeck
pad?
on Voyager.
No, that's the
Transporter?
pad. Yeah, that's the Voyager
Transporter
transport.
pad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can
okay.
Can I get a trivia point? Can I tie? Can I get up to 3?
Sure.
Level up.
You got it.
So look for our names in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Very
Okay.
Cool. As a matter of fact, when we reviewed it, when it came to streaming, I read the credits, and I saw both your names.
Yay! Woo!
Yeah. And I was like, I know him.
Woo! Yeah. But Larry's actually in it.
Yeah, and Janet
Yeah.
is in it too. And Janet
cool.
Janet has I was working there and had the story that I've told for decades, and I'm glad she finally got to tell it on camera.
Have you watched the discs yet? What's on all these discs?
I
Because it
haven't
wasn't that
watched
long.
there was another disc that they had separate that had their entire George Takei sit down interview and
Oh,
other
great!
stuff. And I started to go, can I get one of anyway. I'm
Is that
an
is one of those the
associate
bonus
producer
disc?
on this because I hauled all of my Voyager scripts down to a scanner in Burbank season by season and scanned them so they could have a searchable database of
Wow.
Oh,
actual
wow.
Voyager scripts.
We
So
should
I'm not
make
just
that
in the
public at some point.
thanks. I'm in the associate producer list for that
very
kind of
good.
contribution.
Was there an
That was
extra
very cool.
bonus disc? I saw somewhere there
There was a separately
maybe.
wrapped one, and that's
Yeah,
the one
so
that
I
has
didn't
the
get that.
Takei interview. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll still have to get something else from it. Oh well.
So Dr. Trek is now digging in his bag of Star Trek goodies.
Well,
Yay!
Well, you guys went. I was trying to think of the theme of tonight's show, and I pulled something off real fast that I guess I'll still show. But
oh, and I would say, Albie, yours is theme appropriate because Voyager was pretty much a disaster from top to bottom.
Oh no, I love Voyager.
Boo.
Oh, you know what?
I
Maybe
don't
I
care
haven't
about
got the bonus
Voyager,
disc
but
yet. Maybe I'll get
Voyager.
that in another decade or so. What do you think?
Voyager started off with such a bang, and then they backed. I just remember at the time going because I saw the sausage made from like front row seat. Janet would come up every night and tell me what was going on, and I was like, oh,
Wow.
the first hour they backed off. The network made little dinky UPN made them back off of so much. The whole Maquis thing just went away very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be heroes. They can't be fighting each other. It's like, oh, shut up. You
Yeah, that was the whole setup of the show.
you little tin pots. Little
So-
tin pot network dictators with delusions of godhood. Okay,
That's
well,
right.
my original. I'll show this real fast. So, one of the back to Vegas since we talked about Vegas. So, tons of little doodah things that people had. It was like being on the cruise. It's a big thing on the cruise. People make stuff and hand it out, or they stick it in their door, and they have a door display and all this stuff. But Duncan Fraser, who's now got extras organized as letter decks. From Enterprise and beyond, he comes up to me on Sunday night at the end of the show, and he had one of these left, and his wife had made 10 of these and he says, "You can have number 10." And I go, "What are they numbered?" Do you see that? It's like crocheted.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
You know what
Is
this
that-
is?
Is that Gorn?
Is that
Salamander baby
Janeway?
or Gorn?
It's now he's an Enterprise extra.
Oh, that's an insectoid baby
It's
from the hatch.
From Hatchling.
Crawling all over Archer's shirts. Yeah.
And
I
the
love that
reason he
episode.
picked Hatchling is because he'd been an extra for a long time, and that's the episode that he got his name, Ensign Walsh. So his wife said, "Well, why don't you do something from your show?" And so he said, "How about this?" And then she did 10 of these, and he gave them out to people over the
Oh,
page.
that's
Very
amazing.
cool.
That's
I like
great.
that.
And Alan Kobayashi, who worked on art department for ages and was kind of underheralded, no relation to the Kobayashis that are the
I was going to
namesake.
ask.
That was
I
going to be
know,
my next
but
question.
he leans into, he does all this joke stuff with Kobayashi. And this year he had a t-shirt one year. It was really cute. But this year he had these old school motel keys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think this actually goes to something if you try it, but do you see the front? It says, the Hollow Suite, Hollow Suite, number 3 of Quark's Bar, the, Kobayashi Maru program, Hollow program, but it's dated for STLV 60, which is kind of
that's
cool.
hilarious.
And
Love
next door to me in the booth, so Sandra Pillar had had Michael's book there and things. And if you have never gotten a chance to read it, you should. It's massive. It has complete script drafts from Insurrection. Yes, I know Insurrection, but you get a lot of appreciation for what they put him through, the worst of the movie experiences. Anyway, she had a lot of googie stuff. And she said, "Larry, Insurrection anniversary year is 98. So it's like, it's going to be the 30th anniversary for Insurrection in a couple years. And we wanted to have, and that was Michael's movie. And we want to have some stuff." And so she was asking me like what kind of googie fun things they could do. But meanwhile, they had a ton of things. And she said the thing that went first was anything of Worf. And she gave me, this was the last one she had, and she gave it to me. It's a definitely progressive tendencies, sir button. Anyway, so if anybody has ideas for Sandra on her own to be able to celebrate Insurrection in 2 years,
I like Insurrection.
little stick-on gorches, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
It
the
is a
thing I
gorge, a
told
Klingon
them
temple.
when you first mentioned this, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot that you guys do this." So the idea of surviving, as in surviving the disaster, surviving the ship. So I looked over and I saw the word "survive" on something, and even though it's not the same show at all, I reached over and because this is kind of cool. This was the Christmas gift, I think, from the writers the year that they did the Bell Riots. And it says, it's a mug. It says, "I survived the Bell Riots."
That is cool.
Sanctuary District A, September 1st to 4th, 2024.
Need it.
When they did this
that is
in
a groovy
1996
collectible.
or 7.
I might have to search eBay before I
Yeah.
post this episode.
So was that just like
third
a
season.
limited production gift?
Yeah, it
for
was
the
a
people
crew
that were
gift.
on-
Yeah, the writers gave these to everybody at
Wow.
Christmas. So Deep Space Nine,
Nice.
3rd season. Again, it's kind of
That
like the
is super
Tribbles from
cool.
last time. It has nothing to do with the show
Yeah.
tonight, except I saw that I survived and thought, okay.
There we go. There we
I
go.
think
That's
Trek
all
and
good.
Tell was made for Dr. Trek. He's got the cool stuff.
Well, I have
Yeah,
some. I've
yeah.
thinned it down over the years, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, if you ever
Well, I
thin it
loved-
down more, I'll give you my address.
any kind of Enterprise merch to me is
Any kind
is
of Voyager.
fantastic.
to me,
So
Everybody's got their, yeah.
Deep Space Nine
Yeah.
to John.
I do
But
have
I'll
that thing
take
on.
anything.
I quit for about 5 years. We were getting rid of stuff after the last time we moved, before this last move. And there's a Facebook page I have called Trekland Trunk. And if I put something on eBay or I'm doing something, or I might bring
Yeah, let me know.
something to Vegas, I'll go out there. So go join the page. And then if I put something up,
I would take a paper clip from Brandon Braga's desk. I would frame it and display that thing proudly.
Larry's like, "You're in luck."
I was. I got it.
Like
I
a
think
little
this has a
glass
little
case.
encrusted BB on this wire, and it's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So, are we
Thank
ready
you
for
so
final
much.
thoughts and ratings? Final thoughts and
Ooh,
ratings.
how do we do this?
Oh man.
Why don't we let
Scale of 1 to 47, or what is it?
Yeah,
It's a scale of
that way we
1
have
to
an
5
example.
silly objects from the episode.
Okay.
So you give
And
your
you
final
can go.
thoughts.
You
and
can go
rate
up. You can go up to 10 of those objects
Yeah.
if you want. So 1 to 5 silly objects, and you can go up to 10 because that's just how Albie rolls. And we give final thoughts and then the ratings. So the beautiful John Irons. Let's get your final thoughts and ratings for Off hour.
Okay. Well, I very much enjoyed the episode. I would give this. You know what? I would give it 4.6. Nah, I'm 4.7. Out of 5.
Yeah.
The bike patches that withhold the vacuum of space.
But any final thoughts on the episode?
I thought it was I very much enjoyed it. Like
Hasn't he said enough, Chris? No, I'm
Yeah,
I just wanna make sure.
It's almost like cliche, like it's back to real Shrek. But I when I say that, I don't mean that like I am fine with the gimmick. I'm fine with the motif. I'm fine with this is the blank blank episode. But the blank blank in this case wasn't the point of the episode. It was a loose framing device. And they did have the clock at the bottom, and they did do the sliding panels and like it was a way to tell the story, but the story wasn't about that. And that's what I appreciated about this episode, that that they hadn't really done to the same effect. Even when the episodes were good, because I liked the horror episode and I liked the first episode, but they didn't do it in the same way that I feel like they did this one, whereas it was just in service of telling this, quote unquote classic Star Trek story. So that's yeah. I think it probably is my favorite of the season so far. Actually, it is, because while I really like the horror episode, I'm not as much of a horror fan. I thought it was a really good episode, but I wouldn't call myself a big horror fan. So just all things being equal, I did enjoy this episode a little bit more.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'll go, and then maybe Dr. Trek, and then Chris to bring it home. I enjoyed it because I love a gimmick episode of Star Trek, but I enjoyed not really having too much of a gimmick. I enjoyed watching an episode of Strange New Worlds that almost could fit in any 90s Trek series that I loved. And it just was like almost like feeling like, okay, I can breathe, I can relax. Maybe I feel like I'm coming home again a little bit. And yeah, there's little bumps here and there, but overall, I enjoyed the episode, and I thought it was a good episode of Star Trek. And it was pretty well written, and the characters were done pretty well. And the whole Scotty thing really touched my heart. It did, for some reason. I just him forming that connection with the Enterprise, I was like, oh, that means something to me. So for that, I think I'm going to give it 4 chapel axes out of 5. Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek.
Whoa. 4 what?
Chapel axes.
Oh, chapel axes. Oh,
the axes
that's what
Chapel axes
took out. It was like,
I'm sorry.
That's what Fred Flintstone called his mother-in-law.
Is that
Chapel
like a
Axe.
small mountain range in West Virginia or something? A chapel axe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapel axe.
And you'll see here along the chapel axis. Yeah.
I every summer I would hike the Chapalaxin Mountains.
See?
If you happen to come across the Chapel Axe, Dr. Trek, let me know.
Okay. Yeah, right. The chapel. It looked pretty. I didn't see 19 deltas on it, so I don't know if that's.
No, I was surprised. I was probably one on the bottom of the handle.
Yeah.
If you look closely, the whole head was shaped like a delta.
Yeah, with a handle. Hawk. Yeah, chunk.
Yeah. She knows how to handle an X.
It's a delta on the delta. I want to see somebody with a uniform sometime when the delta has a delta on it. And
Delta's all the way down.
Delta's all the way down. No, I'm everything everybody's saying. I said on Second Opinion last week, talking about the puppet show, that we've gone from big swing being an official Star Trek term to gimmick being an official Star Trek curse word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and somebody a year or two ago came up with that thing about somebody said, I want a little strange new in my Star Trek. And I said, I want a little Star Trek in my Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I thought this got back to it. And I have this love-hate thing with I get intellectually what happened, but I have been complaining about the treatment of the Scotty character so long that if this is actually the Spock is like, oh, here's the turn back to the Spock we know. And it's like, well, that's Spock. And this Scotty was like your add-on character that you brought on the show too early because you got to make it canon now that he was involved this early. and you've been doing this along with him where he's been way too young for his age. And I've kidded about he needs a trauma. Like, they all need a trauma to get them to where we know where they are.
Mhm.
But this might actually be the trauma. So I'm still this is going to sit with me. And then I also want to see what next week looks like and the week after that. I want to see that this is not a one-off thing and they go back to him making, cadet jokes or something. Or being stupid and impetuous like Chekhov was in second and third season. But having said all that, yes, I would say I would give it, you gave me the idea. I would give it a 1 to 5. I would give it a 4.7 ion pod hatch box that actually says ion on the side.
Very good. Very good. Chris.
I am going to mirror what most of you said. I thought that this was a nice return to form. It was, I said last week when I was talking about the puppet episode and how much it bumped me and how much I disliked it. I said that, like, for me, sometimes Star Trek is like getting to a warm bath. And because I know what I'm going to get, it's what I expect, and I just want it to wash over me because it is like one of my favorite places to be. Yeah. And I think this one, it did. Thank you for that serenade, Dr. Trek.
Well, it was a pun, but then I realized it was way too much to get into. So, okay.
It's very good. I got it.
Okay,
I got it on every level.
Take you away.
You rocked it.
You're rocking it. Yeah. Fantastic episode, by far the best episode of this season. And I really, really am encouraged knowing that when they want to, they can make really good Trek. And I didn't even see this one as gimmicky. It's just, we have like ship malfunctioning episodes all the time in Star Trek. And this one was very intense, very well written, very well acted. Everybody did a fantastic job with what they were given, and everybody was given something good to do. So I really did enjoy it from top to bottom. And because of that, I'm going to give it 4.47 liters of Spock radiation vomit out of 5. And we want to know what you think out there.
It's green.
It's green.
It was green.
It's green. It's green.
It's good. Scotty wasn't
you
there.
can
He
tell
drank
us what you think. What you think right here on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Trexploration. You can also support this show on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Trexploration. There you'll find all the levels and tiers that Albie keeps putting up. We have bonus content
Give
and
us
all the
money.
good stuff. You can find us on YouTube. You can support us here on YouTube as well. You can follow us on Instagram. That's instagram.com/TrexplorationPod. You can follow us on Blue Sky at Trexploration.bluesky.social.
Blue Sky, smile at me. Nothing but blue sky.
We still doing TikTok? TikTok.com/@Trexploration.
I don't think so. I think they're controlled by the Empire now.
Gotcha. Well, you can tell us what you think of this episode via email, TrexplorationPod@gmail.com. You can send me one of those adorable little green insectoid babies to P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New
Send me
York,
the pattern.
11705.
My daughter crochets.
That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705.
And
You
a
can
shoebox
also
of
send
20s.
a shoebox full of 20s that I'll forward to Albie.
Thank
You can also support the show on the Buy Me a Coffee app. That's buymeacoffee.com/Trexploration. And in so doing, you will join the ranks of our Buy Me a Coffee supporters, Rocky O.
Rocky O.
Who's buying us a coffee, the wonderful Rocky O. And of course, our lifetime member, the omnipotent Willard. We also want to thank all of our Trek Explorers. Our intrepid crew of Trek Explorers is growing. We now have some new cadets. That includes our cadets Meritneath. I can never say it. Meritneath. You're going to have to tell me if I'm right or wrong. Our cadet Preston Foster, Cadet Liston Linda, Cadet Rick Tatro, Cadet Admiral Rick Tatro, and of course, our Lieutenant Commander Scott Seligman, Cosplay Dad, and Christian Daljo. And of course, our esteemed Captain Charles from Texas, Captain on the Bridge. Thank them and our YouTube supporters. We also have a cadet, the Barsoom, Shant Barsoomian, our acting ensign, Kristen Daljo again, Daljo, and our new acting ensign on YouTube, King VMR765. Thank you.
Awesome. Is that a new one? Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it's a new one. Yes. So another acting ensign on YouTube. So,
thank you. Every single one of you are really helping us get this done, and we appreciate it.
and our free patrons as well. That over there on the Patreon community, you can join for free. And everybody that comments here on the YouTube channel. We had so many great comments for the puppet episode. Let's keep it up.
So
for
many,
this one.
like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
For a crappy episode like that, we got hundreds of comments. For a good episode like this, we should get even more comments, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, we got
please,
Dr. Trek.
You tell us what you know. Episode. Tell us what you want to do. Tell us where you think this season is going.
Puppets.
And also,
can't hurt you anymore.
You can also support the show in a one-time manner with all of the QR codes that Albie's going to pop up right now. They're going to be all over your screen. So scan those.
They're stuffed with mail about the puppet show.
Yes. And we felt every one of them.
Yes. Oh, I used the hell out of felt. That was my go.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not trying to fleece you, but please donate.
Yes, please donate. There you go. That's worth at least $5 right there.
It was so good. It was so good. You made us plush.
Yes. Oh, that's the one, John. That's the one. You made us plush.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to put an end to this nonsense, to this mishigash.
No strings attached.
Coming up soon?
We got. So we want to tell. Yeah, usually we say, we may use your comments in an upcoming episode of Trek Exploration. Speaking of upcoming episodes, Albie, this is usually where you tell me what's coming up next, but did we get an episode list?
The list is out there. What's the title of the next episode, Dr.
I don't know, because it wasn't on the you're asking Larry.
Yeah, because I think they released the 10
I'm not going to call up my thing that fast, but I know it's at hold on. It is like Chronotons through the Hourglass.
Oh.
Okay, so maybe a time travel one?
It's the soap opera one.
Oh, it's going to be a soap.
It might be good. Don't poo-poo it until you see it.
Larry, why did you do this to me?
Like
I haven't seen it yet.
Somebody call a doctor.
Like Chronotons through the Hourglass. These are the star dates of our lives.
Moments
I will watch
to
it.
live. All right. We'll
and by the way, that's season 4, episode 7. So is that the 47?
Will there actually be any more after that? Is it all just a ruse and it all implodes after episode 4.7?
I'm
looking forward to it. I'm hoping I can see it as soon as we get off the air here.
I hope the whole soundtrack is just an old school organ.
It's going to break my heart.
John, are we going to go to... I think my final words on this one, well, I guess it was fun while it lasted.
A exploration.
Wait, hold on,
Chris.
We got to do our plugs.
Oh, we got to ask. Yeah, we got to do our plugs. I'm
Gotta
sorry.
do our plugs.
I'm sorry. Could
You're
you
like,
just see me deflate?
There's more.
Chris is going to call off next week because it's another gimmick episode.
Just reach over and turns off the cam, just close the laptop.
Gimmick episode. No.
Dr. Trek, where can people find you and enjoy your
tell
wisdom
everybody
every
all
week?
about you and all the great stuff that you do.
I'm no way. No, I'm just everybody, just LarryNemecek.com, Larry Nemecek on all the socials, man. Blue Sky and still Twitter. Everybody, seriously, my YouTube, I got into it late. My YouTube was way behind all these people with $1.5 million.
It's great. Live shows.
These people have $1.5 million subscribers and never have anything to say. Come on. So the live show is Tuesday, Treklands Live at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern-ish. Cadet Alice, I'm about to start finally posting our second season. My review, I call it a reaction show, not more than a review, is called Dr. Trek's Second Opinion, which normally comes out the Saturday after the Thursday. I don't try to race and be there at the beginning and kind of see the first wave of reaction like this to a show. But the summer cons messed us up, so we've been struggling to get back on. Anyway, Second Opinion.
Busy time.
Cadet Alice, Tuesdays Live. Is all that there. And of course, Portal 47, if you really love backstage Star Trekking and you want to be with my live thing I've done for now 11 years. And our open house is coming up again, which will be free to everybody.
One day. That's the dream. Me and Chris hiking up those mountains.
Oh,
yeah.
And then a Trekline Trek, if you're ever in SoCal and you want to take your own customized away mission and go, which I'm doing tomorrow. And I've got to get myself in bed to get my stuff going.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to go have in the mini heat wave of LA right now. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, the tours, the real life location film site. So yeah, it's LarryNemecek.com. It's all there. And my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and all that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah,
There's
we'll put
my-
links down below.
Oh, and some news that I hope, for God's sake, we can finally announce in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for a big project that if you've followed me any amount of years, you've heard me talk about, and I quit talking about it so I can start talking about it in another month or two, hopefully.
All right. Exciting. I'm excited.
Okay.
Big.
All
Looking
right.
forward to anything. to do with that.
Someone's vague posting there. John Irons, where can everybody find you?
They can have.
Weirdly here more than anywhere else lately.
Yay, I won.
Sure. Surprising to everyone, most of all me, but I do have a not quite defunct, let's call it hiatusized trivia wordplay podcast called Captain Game Show. You can check out every episode on captaingameshow.com. I'm also
I have
available.
yet to be on it.
That is true, but hiatusized.
There's a reason.
Oh, that's true.
My hands are tiacized.
That's true.
But I
with
promise
the
you,
branding.
Albie.
Yeah.
When I start making new episodes, I promise I will have you on.
All right.
You're going to
So
try to
big
albicize?
I will albicize.
Albicize.
Albicize. That's the $1 million idea you're looking for, Albie.
That's
There
the
it is.
t-shirt.
Ooh.
Time to get albicized.
Watch the hand gestures, Albie. You don't want to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll have to fix that.
watch
one.
that.
Yeah.
I got blocked by my microphone stand.
You know, just make a puppet of yourself. Just anything bad you do, just have a puppet do it. It's not so bad.
Okay, where
Puppet-sized.
did I touch the puppet?
Puppet size.
Hey, I'm with
and
you,
my
John.
plug
I'm your
says-
biggest marketer now. I'm
Puppet
gonna-
sized.
My plug is if you go to our channel, look up an old video. It's where me and Chris get dressed up as all three Charlie's Angels and go out on the town. It's down below. Check it out.
You have
I
a
was
like
so-
you're one and a half of them, and when you stick
I was gonna
together,
ask.
you're the three.
I
It's
do
like
the
that- it's like that
Brady
thing where
where
it's
I
like
have
a
to
man
keep
on the
switching
side of the
Yeah,
costume.
exactly.
I'll tell you,
And Chris isn't really into it, but I am, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, watch and find out. It's like nothing you even think about. So.
No, but it's very difficult when we do the pose, back to back and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Back to
It's
back
up
to
to
Well,
back.
speaking of
Yeah,
transformative
exactly.
puppets, did any of you notice last week on the puppet show that the Scotty puppet was actually taller than real Scotty? I'm sorry. I'm still hung up. I'm sorry.
Tell me you told him all those jokes.
Martin
when
Quinn
you
is
were-
a
when you
great
met him.
person, but I just can't.
Yeah.
If they're really going to fix Scotty, I'm going to see the 6-inch lifts in his heels now. I'm just.
Oh, that's man,
He's
man, oh,
just,
man,
he's
oh,
just
man.
a transport accident away.
He's. I see.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope from your lips to the great bird's ears. John.
They'll figure it out. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Trek, for joining us in this great review of this great episode. We seem to all enjoy, and hopefully everyone let us know what you thought down below. And for Trek Exploration, I'm Albie.
I'm Chris.
I'm John.
I'm still Dr. Trek. Trek well, everybody.
And we'll see you next time.
Treksploration is a podcast, yeah. Chris and Albie and sometimes John talking Trek all night and day, making no sense along the way. Published author of the Seeker book, father of Serenity, former cook. The beautiful John Irons is our friend. When we get together, it never ends. Original series and next gen. Captain Archer is our friend. Albie loves Voyager in DS9. Archer is our friend. Chris watches Enterprise all the time. Archer is our friend. New episodes, they come and go. All Star Trek is our favorite show. We get guests we can't afford. If you are new, then welcome aboard. It's Albie's only job, so donate well. Like and subscribe and ring that bell. Original series and next gen. Captain Archer is our friend. Albie loves Voyager in DS9. Archer is our friend. Chris watches Enterprise all the time. Archer is our friend. New episodes, they come and go. All Star Trek is our favorite show. Yes, we can't afford. If you are new, then welcome aboard. It's Albie's only job, so donate well. Like and subscribe and ring that bell.
Treksploration is a podcast, yeah. Chris and Albie and sometimes John talking Trek all night and day, making no sense along the way. Published author of the Seeker book, father of Serenity, former cook. The beautiful John Irons is our friend. When we get together, it never ends.